Hello, everybody. Welcome to Core. This is Core, talking video games so you can too. All right? I don't want to do the old instance thing where I used to say something else. We got all kinds of stuff today, including talk about the new Switch 2 announcement Nintendo finally made and how similar it is to all the leaks that happened prior to this announcement. And also when we think it might actually come out, because we still don't have a real date. But they do say 2025. We'll get to all that in a minute. It's me, Scott Johnson, Beau Schwartz, John Jagger. And what I want you to do, if you haven't done it yet, is to seek out the interview I did last week with Jason Schreier, who I recommend when you interview him, you say his name slowly so you don't accidentally say Jason Schreier, which I did once in the interview.
Jason Schreier.
Yeah, I felt bad.
I didn't notice. I listened and watched.
It could have been worse. You could have had Beau say it.
I could have had Beau say it. The thing is,
Schreier?
I was sure.
I say it right.
You did it right. Say it one more time. Do it again.
Jason Schreier.
You did it right.
Why does everyone think I say it wrong?
No, you said it correctly. When I said it, I did it one time. No one's noticed except me so far, so I don't know why I'm bringing attention to it. But I said Jason Schreier, and I kind of shunned the Jason a little bit.
That's all right. That's all right.
But I did confirm prior to us recording. I said, hey, just so we're on the record here, do you say Schreier or Schreier? And he goes, oh, it's Schreier. It's exactly the way people always say it. I said, okay.
Yeah, it's like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, how?
The Schreier.
Oh, the
We have to
Schreier.
go back to the Schreier, Sam.
We're Schreier folk. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we are Schreier
That's
folk.
where Bilbo and Frodo are from, the Schreier.
Here, I just wanted to say, so please go listen to it. I thought it was really great. The stuff he brought to the table is just a really great interview. He's a really easy guy to talk to. And here's that relates to what I learned. I learned three things from the Jason Schreier interview.
Okay.
One, he doesn't sound like what I expected audio-wise. So when he came on, it sounded like John. Mm-hmm. And I for a hot second,
there is a conspiracy theory that he was not on and you were just talking to me.
Yeah. And I, for a hot second, thought, did I call John? Is he punking me? Like, what are we doing here? I really did for a second think that it was you.
That would be so mean of John to pretend to be John.
Oh, it'd be the worst, right? Be totally the worst. But it wasn't that. You guys share a very similar cadence. And then the other thing I learned is that Jason Schreier has a reputation for being very intense and intimidating because he is like, go for the throat, get the facts, bring receipts. I exposed your company's dirty shit and here are the receipts to prove it. You know, that's what he's known for. He's very good at that stuff. We talked a little bit about that stuff. And he's really hardcore on letting you know if I said something wrong. Like I think in the interview I said something like, I think I misspoke and said that he was editor, meaning editor-in-chief at Kotaku, but he was just news editor at Kotaku. Not a huge mistake and not even that big a deal. Nobody would bring it up, but he was like immediate, like, nope, just news editor, like clear, fixing it. So all of that stuff is still true about him. But here's the part here's the part that we get wrong, or I had wrong. I thought he would be a very intimidating interview because of that reputation. And it turns out he's really chill, super nice, just a dude who loves video games and loves covering this stuff. And has a very strict ethic about his work, but he's not scary to talk to. It wasn't any big deal that way. Anyway, if any of that intrigues you, makes you guys want to check it out. It is up on the Core feed.
You were well prepared for the interview too. It was great to see.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad
that you aren't, but it was just you did well.
And I didn't. So people don't need to ask. I didn't get any kind of dirt on anybody out of the show. I didn't get any kind of weirdness like that.
Dirt? What did we not hear, Scott? Why was your first question, who sucks in this industry?
Yeah, who's the worst? Tell us what Mike Morhaime does at night. I didn't ask him any of that.
Which video game person was Taika Waititi impersonating in Free Guy? We all know he based it off someone.
That's a pretty deep cut. I like that. Is there a theory as to who he was portraying? Do we know?
No, we just know that it was based on someone.
We don't know who.
That's what we know. We know he based it on a real person. We don't know who.
All right. If this is the 90s,
I'm sure people have theories, but
yeah. If it was the 90s, I would have guessed who did
Earthworm
Jim? Worm Person Jim? Earthworm Jim.
You found the Chinese knockoff of Earthworm Jim, Worm Person Jim.
David. Anyway, he was controversial at the time and kind of reminds me of that character, but it's probably not him. But anyway, I didn't get a lot of dirt like that. And prior to the show, he did say to me, said, "Hey, by the way, I really enjoyed your interviews with Metzen. We used those for some of what we did on the book." And that was nice to hear. So he's just really complimentary and not this scary. He's not this scary monolithic, journalist with a gun, kind of not with a gun, but you know what I mean? Like, he's just not that guy.
Journalist with a gun. I was thinking the same thing.
Tell me what's going on at the company. Tell me.
Tell me, I got a gun.
Speaking to one of these, the microphone or the barrel.
It was really fun though. So I want you to check it out if you haven't heard it, listeners. It's up on the audio feed as well as the YouTube and all that. It's all audio versions. We didn't do video, but he was great. And he also, he highly recommends this game. Hold on. This didn't make it onto the show because it just came out and he told me separately. It's right here. Hold on. It is. Okay, John, you're going to want to hear this. You love the Obra Dinn, right? The death or the secret of the Obra Dinn?
You want to look in the show notes? Just kind of scroll down. Check what we've been playing.
Oh, are you playing that? Mm-hmm. Oh, you are playing it. All right. He recommended this game and we'll talk about it later. How about that?
We're going to talk about it.
We can't say what it is now.
We can say it. Yeah, the Roottrees are dead.
Yeah, the Roottrees are dead, and that's it.
That doesn't spoil anything for me. I don't know what that is, so I still need John to explain it later.
Well, he told me off air it was the best game he's played this year. He got a pre-release copy of it, and that sounds like an insane thing to say. Like he said he would not be surprised at the end of the year. I think he said something like this on Blue Sky too, but at the end of the year, if he harkens back and says that's the best game I've played. That's pretty wild to say. I say that kind of stuff all the time, but I have no basis other than my own hype meter, right?
Right.
But he seems like a guy that's
like, played a game this year, game of the year.
Game of the year. It was real good. But he doesn't seem like the kind that throws that around softly. So anyway, go check it out. Interview was fun. Had a great time doing it. All right. Well, we may as well get to the chicken on the wall. That's not what I meant to say. What is it when the elephant in the room? Elephant in the room.
I like chicken on the wall better.
I don't think it's going to change.
Let's all address the chicken on the wall.
Let's address the chicken on the wall before it does something weird. We now have the Nintendo Switch officially announced from Nintendo. Not a leak, not a speculation online, not another YouTube channel telling everybody what they think's going to happen. The actual Switch 2 was announced, and here's the, I guess, good news and bad news, or some sort of news. It's basically what everybody thought it was going to be because the leaks have been accurate. All the size leaks.
Yeah, remember all those leaks?
Yeah.
You go.
They magnetically attach the Joy-Cons now. It's a much larger screen. There's a USB-C connector on top and bottom. Like all the stuff everybody said was going to happen. Basically, that's the device.
I guess the big thing was the mouse aspect.
Put the controller on the table and kind of use it like a mouse.
Yeah, it looks like a handheld. We've been seeing a lot of those lately, and yeah, it's a good quality one. Like, I'm not flaming, but it's got it's got controls on the left and the right. It's got a power button on the top. Mm-hmm. One of the features that they showed, it has connection holes. Here's a USB port. I was like, okay, cool. But they did show it the mouse a little bit, like that you can stand it upright. Mm-hmm. And use it like a mouse on the ground, which is pretty neat innovation.
I agree. Like, imagine you're playing, I don't know, Civ.
Did they show that? Is that what that is?
Well, they showed just zoom it.
I see it. It's on the screen right now, but is that is that a confirmed functionality, or is that wishful thinking from people that are like, boy, I really hope there's more to this?
It's a chicken on the wall.
Yeah, because here's what I'm going to say. So this was a discussion point. Guys, calm down, everybody. Like, settle down.
Yeah.
If it's true, that's awesome. Like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's going to be, but like, before we get too excited, let's let them announce it.
Yeah, I agree.
I want. Here's the problem. I'm gonna be realistic with my take on the Switch 2. And when we get to what we played, you're gonna maybe see a little bit why I'm a little like, trepidatious about this. I want to be excited for this.
Yeah.
And if I all of a sudden think of a bunch of cool features, because Nintendo hasn't told us anything about it, if I think of a whole bunch of cool features and then it comes out and it has none of those, it's going to be really disappointing.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is wait until April 2nd, and then we'll know.
Is that all?
Until then, can we maybe, like, let's just assume that controller was riding around on the ground because it was whimsical.
Yeah. I heard you can use them as pregnancy tests, too.
Oh, my gosh.
You have to pee on them, though. You got to pee on them.
Oh,
yeah. One use only.
They're going to put out different colors right away, so that's just fun.
Oh, you know what's a good question? Does this device... the cartridges for this thing, which it will support physical cartridges, will they have a terrible, awful taste like the Switch one does? And if they do, what will they taste like? Because the current ones taste like death. They are terrible, and they're to keep them out of babies' mouths. That's the whole reason they designed them that way. Do you not know this?
No.
Oh, do you have a Switch cartridge around? Do you have your...
No, it's in my room. Like,
damn it!
Hurry, let's get on this internet trend from when the Switch.
Oh yeah, I did try it because
you Nash Maggarded it.
I did. I tasted it very early on in the life cycle because I'd heard about it. I think it was Breath of the Wild. I tasted because everybody said, "Oh, they've made these cartridges to taste so bad that a baby won't. They'll spit them out. They won't choke on them because they're choking hazards. They're the size. Those cartridges are just barely bigger than like an SD card.
Oh, why don't they do that in everything?
Well, I mean,
Lego should do that. Right?
Yeah, Lego could, sure. So I assume so. I don't know what the coating is or what the deal is or how the tech works, but basically it tasted like the most bitter, terrible, just like, I don't want that in my mouth kind of taste. So everyone's like speculating, what will the new Switch 2 cartridges taste like? Which, to be honest, is a little more fun than going, well, I heard it's a mouse because we don't know. We don't know about that mouse thing. I'll tell you this. My money is on what Beau said that these will have some weird mousy functionality.
It would be super cool if it did.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Everything in this trailer is like very deliberate, right? It isn't just they haven't put these things in here just because let's animate this really cool. Like this is a way of them to tease a lot of the features and things on it, right? Like they push all the buttons. I'm watching it now. They move the Joy-Cons around. Like, look at the Joy-Cons. They roll around. And then there's this whole segment where they're zooming on their side on the ground. I just think that's deliberate.
Well, I hope so. But before anybody goes, Core said it was going to be a mouse. Let's be clear, they didn't say it was going to be a mouse.
We're speculating.
I don't think there's danger in that kind of thing. If we say something, people know it's like.
Yeah, I think it's clear though.
At best,
I think it's clear that we're speculating.
We don't know. But I took it as confirmation. My interpretation was like, sweet that they got a little mouse thing. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. They did show briefly some screens from this new Mario Kart.
Let's see if I can find a sensor on when they show the side. Hang on.
Yeah, look for that. The Mario Kart they showed looked nice. That looked also like a very fast frame rate, which makes me happy. 24 racers per race. That's a lot.
Instead of 12, which is the traditional for Mario Kart.
And that's what people are counting on screen. So again, some of this could be, we don't know. Like everyone's looking at every pixel going, what's this? What's this? What's this?
Yeah. I mean, the big things that people have clued in on is that there were slots for 24 racers on the stage they showed, assuming this is actual gameplay from an actual game.
Right.
And that Donkey Kong got redesigned.
Yeah, which I don't know if we were all looking for that, I guess, but I don't know.
Here's my feeling on the Donkey Kong redesign. My hot take. Here's a hot take for you. Get ready.
Go.
I don't think it looks as good as it did, but I'm glad they did it.
Oh, well, let's see if I can.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Nintendo reinventing the look of characters. I don't prefer it. It's sort of like Breath of the Wild Link. I don't think that looks cooler than any other version of Link. I think it's a downgrade, but I'm glad that they're innovating. Because if you think about it, when we all played Mario 64 for the first time, that was like everything was new. None of that stuff had been in Mario before. Like, you're even collecting stars that used to make you invincible. Now it's just a big collectible. All the musical cues and little melodies that we're playing were all brand new bits of music, except for a few callbacks. And since then, Mario games do callbacks to that. Like, it was just a great big reinvention at that point. And I think it's cool when Nintendo decides to do that, when they kind of say, we're not going to bounce off of what we did before. We're going to do something completely new. I think it's cool, even if maybe personally I'm not the biggest fan of what they go with.
Well, they've been doing it for decades.
All for try it.
They've been doing it for multiple decades. I remember the first time Mario 3 came out. He's very different than Mario 1, his design. Super Mario World, very different than 3. The 3D ones have changed here and there too. They've been a little more consistent, but that most recent one, what's it called? Super Mario Visions, or he turns into an elephant, that thing.
Oh yeah, get high on your own supply.
The one I want to play once this comes out. I've been waiting on a lot of games because I didn't want to play it on the old Switch. That thing's so old now. But I'm ready to play those games now, and they'll be backwards compatible, so that's exciting. But he's very different in that.
Wonder, that's what it is.
Wonder, there you go.
Got it, Wonder.
Also, I got a question about this burger place called Yoshi's that's featured in this trailer. Are they Yoshi burgers, meaning they're made of Yoshis, or does a Yoshi run the place?
I would assume a Yoshi runs the place. Probably the same Yoshi that put cookies together in Yoshi's Cookie.
Okay. That I can deal with.
I'm going with 2, option 2.
Remember when he used to make cookies?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I remember that Yoshi's Cookies. Wasn't there another? I'm thinking of the yarn one. That was just made out. Everything was made of yarn.
That's just then you're just eating a yarn burger.
You don't eat yarn.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, who would eat a yarn burger? Gross. Anyway, I also think it's a weird bit of marketing. Right here at the end, here I'll show you this video, just this part of it. For those listening at home, there's this part where the Switch comes together and then plops itself down on a table, and then the pink one or the red one opens again, goes crack, and that just seems like a problem.
Yeah, it's like, well, because you say it's going to be magnetic, and what's your immediate fear?
Is that it will lose its magnetism.
Say that it's going to be magnetic. Yeah. You're like, well, what happens when I'm playing a game and I'm getting intense, and all of a sudden I go, it falls apart, and that real big screen falls on the ground. So it is a weird little visual to be like, whoops, it slipped out the side.
Yeah.
How do they get magnets into it? I mean, I'm really ignorant of this stuff, but from what I remember, it's like you got to keep magnets away from computers. They're not great for them.
I think.
How do you put magnets in devices and not destroy it?
I think that there are ways to do it so you're shielding the stuff that matters. I mean, in the case of these,
yeah, I guess so.
You put shielding on the side so your screens. But you're right, though. When I was growing up, especially around the arcade stuff my dad did when we were talking CRTs and stuff, the biggest rule in the house was not don't pee on the floor, don't eat that in the fridge, make sure the lights are off at night or make sure the doors are locked. The big law in our house was don't put any magnets near any of the arcade machine screens.
Yeah. Because that's your livelihood. It's like, do you want to eat? Don't put magnets next. We run them. This is our business.
It used to be a big problem for sure. Kids used to bring them to the computer lab. That was a real messed up move. Mm-hmm. But in general, with modern technology, I follow the ICP protocol of magnets, which is I don't really understand how they work.
No, magnets are crazy, man. What do you do?
Yeah.
But I think I just
be impervious now with how we do things. But
they just need to be strong. I'm not saying I need rare earth magnets; those things are really strong. But I need something that's going to hold tight because I think we talked about this before. But if you're getting too excited, and you're like, gosh, dang it, new design of Donkey Kong, and you rip one of those off and your thing goes flying across the room. Like, I need some sturdiness.
You want to go throw the Switch, and the Switch just like, it doesn't, instead of throwing it, flips behind you because it rips off, like.
Yeah, man. That isn't good. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're not going to know any of this stuff people get hands on. And that brings us to the hands-on stuff. They're going to do a tour, basically, of locations: New York City on April 4th through 6th, LA 11th through 13th, Dallas 15th through 25th, and so on, all the way up through, looks like June 1st may be the last one, although Hong Kong and Taipei haven't been announced, but they're going to go all around the world and do hands-on events for host cities. I live nowhere near any of this, so it will not be me. I don't think John does either. Let me just see. Is Canada getting anything? No. They're just skipping Canada. You could go to New York, Beau, I guess. You're not that far from New York. Oh, no, Toronto. I'm sorry. 25th to the 27th. You want to fly to Toronto and do a little hands-on there with the Switch-A-Roo?
No.
Okay.
It's a 5-hour drive, and the flight, it's a 40-minute flight, but, it still wouldn't be cheap.
So where are we seeing the Donkey Kong change, John?
He got paused in a screenshot. He looks more like he did in the movie.
Okay.
Than how he did in Donkey Kong Country.
Well, that seems okay. I think I know where this is. Then we're going to jump ahead. Hold on. Let's go forward a little bit.
It's definitely people doing some, pause back into there he is.
He looks a little more like the movie. You're right. Big hollow eyes, or big forehead and all that. Whatever. Tweak it. It's fine. It's yours. It's your IP. Do what you want. Let me tell you something that's absolutely true. The Donkey Kong that you all think is the standard with the big red tie and the DK on it and the Donkey Kong Country artwork and all that, go compare that to Donkey Kong 1 or Donkey Kong Jr. or any of that original stuff.
The fun fact is Donkey Kong Jr. was the original racer for Mario Kart.
Shit.
In Super Mario Kart, it wasn't Donkey Kong. It was Donkey Kong Jr.
That's right. And he's a bit of a bastard himself.
Also, technically, isn't our current Donkey Kong technically Donkey Kong Jr.? Because Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong.
That's a good point. See, this is what we're here for. We're here to clear these things up. Here's a good example. This is the original DK. He looks nothing like the thing we have now. So don't worry. This is not a thing for people to worry about.
You really look at his teeth. They're a real problem.
Oh, dude, for real. They look like, I don't know what those look like.
I don't even know what they are.
It's pretty
mad,
bad.
Though.
He's mad. He would say.
Big mad, yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited, and I'll tell you why. I buy into the Nintendo hype because I do truly believe they are unique in the games business, and I want them to continue to exist. There are lots of questions about whether the store will be any good, if it will be the potato the last one was, if they're going to put music in there. These seem like small things, but I love that stuff about their stuff in the past. Will they be smarter about internet stuff? The backwards compatibility, will that truly be not just great, but also support higher frame rates for older games, things like that? I don't know. How much power does this thing have? We still don't know that. We know what the rumors are, but that's it. And we don't have a release date. We think there's rumors about June 1st or around June. But again, they're just rumors. We don't know. So I'm getting one, though.
It looks cool.
Yeah, I'll be getting a Switch too.
It's hype.
It's a nice iteration, but it sure took them a long time. We're pushing 9 years on that device. So
well, that's where for me the rubber meets the road. It's like, what's the performance like on it? I don't know if that matters so much. I think for handhelds it's pretty good because you guys don't really complain about your Steam Decks at all. So I assume it's
for handhelds
performant.
Yeah,
and overall the games have been performant on the Switch. I haven't had any problems with it, so I assume that'll be the case. It's just, when you go to be like, do I buy a PC version of Witcher or play it on Switch? It's like, well, I'm not playing it on Switch, right? It's so bad.
Yeah.
I just wonder about, what the fidelity is going to be like for their crossover. Would Switch actually be a destination to be like, actually, I don't want to play this on Steam Deck. I'm going to play it on Switch where it's going to look great. So, yeah.
They also didn't say, or at least tout, that it's OLED. If it isn't, I would be inclined to wait for an OLED launch for the screen, even though it's going to cost a little more.
2029.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I don't want to do that. If it's soon, great. I don't know. I don't want them to be dicking around with me that way. But also, the control sticks are really bad on the original in that they, with enough use, they were drifty. We don't know about that yet. Are these better? Are they? Well, there's a kind of stick technology now that it gets rid of drift entirely, and I forgot the name, but are they going to employ something like that? I don't see. A lot of questions, and all we're left with is, are those Wiimotes are those Joy-Cons mice, and is that Donkey Kong look a little different to you? We don't have a lot to go on here.
Yeah, we have to wait to April. I'm just on the website now, just seeing if there's details there, and it's stay tuned for a closer look on April 2, and like you said, it was the events that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, if any of you end up at the events, let us know. We'd love to talk to you for
We
CORE.
have 3 months of endless speculating, people doing AI renders and whatever else. So
Now I think this Switch can actually double as a spaceship. I believe that because it made an interesting sound that sounded like a rocket during the video.
There you go. Yeah. Also,
Straight to the moon.
It also appears to be connecting to itself after it morphs and puts paint on itself. And it's a really impressive technology display, if you take it literally.
Yeah. We don't know yet if it's HD or OLED, which Scott and I have a bet on. We didn't bet anything of monetary value, which is unfortunate because leaks are saying I'm right. But
leaks are saying it's LED or some form of that, QLED or something.
But
we're
not going until it's confirmed. So I think I'm gonna win this.
They also made a lot of money on that mid bump of the OLED. They did real well with people rebuying Switches, as well as the Switch Lite, which again, that could happen here too. Some sort of version of it that's not, TV centric or,
I think they're going to want to keep this affordable. I think that's
key for them for sure.
Like, yeah, it's key. They're not like a PlayStation brand where it's like, okay, here's $700 for your Switch 2. Like, I think I would expect maybe not OLED. I would expect LED and a good price point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably right. Well, at least you're not going to get any burn-in. OLED has burn-in, or it can, if you leave it on too long. All right. Well, we're done with our Switch stuff. They are talking about having a proper Nintendo game, a proper Mario game to show off, not Kart, but like a real Mario game. So there's something in the books there, and I'm stoked about that because I love those. And I thought Odyssey was like legitimately
and there's
amazing.
A couple of other games that they've announced that haven't come out yet that clearly should be positioned for
like Metroid.
Yeah, for two, like Metroid.
Yeah, I think Prime 4 will be on there for sure.
A Donkey Kong remaster, which probably isn't that big of a deal, but there's some games I'm sure that are coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Yep. On their way. What'd they call that finally? Oh yeah, Beyond. So it's Prime 4 Beyond. I can't do the music. Anyway, let's move on, shall we, to our week in gaming. We're mixing things up a little bit today, so let's do it. Let's do this. Games we played this week. Let's get into it. Turns out I was right.
Yeah, from me being right to you being right.
Yeah. John and I played a bunch more of Dungeon Clawler, and I think for you this is like your first big push into it, right?
Yeah, I played it. I talked a little bit about it briefly last week because I didn't have a lot to say. I still kind of don't, but I thought I was done because before we talked about it last week, I had beaten the game as one of the characters. I was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. I think I'm done. Like, I've seen it. I've clawed, and I feel good. And then I just couldn't stop launching it. And now I've beaten it with like 6 different characters, and I can't put it down. It's so addictive. Like, I want something on that I'm, that's just a game-ass game.
Yep.
And it's perfect for that. The way you can kind of do builds depending on what the character's abilities and strengths are a lot of fun. There's a character that's like basically all about attack. Like, he's not going to get defensive items. They do him no good, but he will get health back for doing damage. Like, that's my kind of character right there. He's a vampire.
Yeah. Vampire's great. I like that guy a lot.
He's like, that's a philosophy I can get behind.
Count Clawula.
Yeah, Count Clawula. He's the best.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun to go through and unlock more and try and figure out, like, okay, well, how does the build work around this character, and watch it come online and just see how it goes. It's just really addicting. Mm-hmm. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I'm still playing it. It's one of my favorite games of last year, as I stated in our awards show, and it's carried me even further into this year than I expected. And I'm having the same thing where I just kind of want to unlock everybody and catch them all. I do want to try the scaled difficulty stuff, which you unlock after you've unlocked everybody. I think anyway, because I haven't done it yet, and I'm still. I only have I think 2 characters left to unlock. But yeah, I don't even have a favorite character yet because all of them have been fun. And getting a full run or a completed run of the game just is really satisfying. And they're adding new stuff to it all the time. They added some quality of life features to the way it controls both controllers, touch screens for phones, and the Steam Deck version of it. I'm playing it 90% on a Steam Deck, occasionally on a meeting on a Mac or something when I should be paying attention to the phone call I'm on.
Hey, when is a better time to dungeon claw than a
call, a dungeon call.
Than a call.
Yeah. Call claw. It's just, you're right about it being a game-ass game, and the mechanics are what matters. There's a little bit of luck. And the luck is an interesting bet because you see a pile of shit you want to grab. And you know that they're about to hit you. Like, these 2 blobs are about to hit this guy for 10 damage each. So your focus with your 2 claw picks should probably be good defense first, and then make sure you've got enough block to handle 20 hits. And then let's see, what other weapons are there? Well, sometimes you get greedy and you go, I'm going to get these 3 shields and those 2 swords in the same claw grab. And it works, and then it lifts it up, and then the momentum of it swinging over to dump it is just like the reason you hate these in a mall or whatever. 2 of the knives and 1 of the shields go flying off back into the badge.
Yep. You're like, great, it's on the pile of all the other stuff that went flying off that I tried to grab, and now it's gone forever.
Yeah, and there's something about it here where it just makes for... The RNG aspect is different than you expect from a game like a turn-based fighting game, which it ultimately is. But the RNG is provided by these physics, and that's weird. And I love it. I love that it does that. I love this game. Game's amazing. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. It makes me happy.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
One of my favorites of last year for sure. And we hear from people all the time. Like somebody said, somebody in our TMS chat today said, I'm supposed to be working, but I'm clawing dungeons right now or something like that. So I think the word has spread. People like it. One day, Beau perhaps may be convinced to try it as well.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this has survived several weeks of,
it's unusual,
yeah,
right?
It's not really. I want to sit down and just focus on this game. It's I'm watching. I mean, for me right now, I've rediscovered. I feel like I always rediscover it. They just recently did the 2025 of Games Done Quick, which I absolutely love. But we had a bit of a rough patch when COVID was going because I liked the live event atmosphere of it. And during all the pandemic stuff, they were doing it remotely, which is fine, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
And so I missed it live, so I'm catching up on it on VODs, and it's like the perfect game to have going for that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Almost anything. So. You got your kids in the room and you're like trying to teach them a lesson. Just do this while you're doing it.
Yep.
Just like, hey kid, listen, don't steal, don't lie. Hold on a second, I got to decide if I want the chest or if I want okay, now I'm back. Now don't lie. Like you can live your life with Dungeon Clawler happening anytime you want. It's that kind of game. And I appreciate a game like that. It's great. Let's see. I also played a game based on a bunch of old games. Do you guys remember the Monster Boy games of yore?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember them, but I did. Yeah, I'm familiar.
So there was Wonder Boy. There was Monster Boy. I think these were the same people. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I love this long play guy. I always check out his name is Jimmy Longplays. I freaking love his name. Anyway, this is a return to those, except adding a bunch of Metroidvania aspects to it. And this came out, I want to say, in 2019. So it's actually been a while, and I've had my eye on it, but there's always a million other games to play. So I've just sort of been like, all right, when that's on sale, I'll check it out. And it came out on sale for $7.49 or something. And I thought, well, now I'll just grab it. And this anime thing at the beginning is a little misleading. Oh, you guys would love the music, though. Check this out. Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's anime as shit, you know? Anyway, but the game itself is very much, it seems like an old school platformer. In a lot of ways it is. But it turns out there's a pretty good Metroidvania inside of it. Lots of hidden secrets, lots of areas to get to later now that you have the ability to get to the later levels, abilities and spells that you unlock. A whole bunch of story told in a very, I think, a pretty funny way. Most games don't make me laugh. This game made me laugh twice yesterday. It's animated beautifully. You become a pig for a big part of it. As you can see here, you're a pig, which is pretty great.
I love the look of it. It looks great.
It is a beautiful game. I mean, I could have said this just came out 2 days ago and you'd probably believe me. Like it's not a game that looks like it's 6 years old. I think I have it right on the date. I think it was 2019. But anyway, so much has changed since then. It's a delightful game with all kinds of reasonable challenge, interesting metagame kind of built into the inventory. So I unlocked I got a pair of boots that let me sink to the bottom of water. And then there's like secrets and cool shit to do at the bottom of these oceans or these rivers. And you can swap in and out of the different boot types depending on what you're trying to do. As you can see here in this level I'm showing now for those watching video, there's a little bit of puzzle solving and and stuff going on in this dungeon you're in. It's just fun, and everything's paced so well that I'm just having a great time. And it feels like less like, oh, there's a wall I can't get through. And this game's like, hey, there's a wall I can't get through, but I'll bet I'll see that wall open pretty quick if I just do my job here. Like, I'm not waiting days to see the results of my work or whatever. It's cool. It's a very fun game. It runs on Steam Deck like a freaking dream, as you would expect for a game like this. And yeah, it was. I was looking for something like this week. I've got a few of these going right now, but this one really hit the spot, and I had a ball with it. I guess I'm showing you all pig gameplay here, but there's also you're a dude with a sword most of the time, or a lot of the time, being Monster Boy. Anyway, it's very good. Check it out. Available now. Steam has it on sale still. It is called Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. I wrote it in my notes, but it's punching above its weight, and I agree with myself. All right. Let's now talk about a game Shannon fan gave me. I mentioned it last week briefly. I hadn't had time to play it before I mentioned it, but I promised myself I would play it in the meantime, and I did. And this is a game called Lego 2K Drive. And as you may imagine, it is a Lego game where you drive and stuff. What I didn't know,
driving stuff.
I figured it was going to be real simple, like just racing and then, bricks to add to your car or something. I didn't know what it would be. I really didn't know. It reviewed pretty well, so I was like, I'm curious about this. So I got in, started playing it. Here's my takeaway. If Mario Kart, Burnout Paradise, and...
Oh, hello.
I've got your attention now, I know.
Excuse me?
And Lego fandom smashed together into a big, had a baby. This is it. It is crazy because some of the how like in Paradise you drive around, you'll take a challenge. It's like, oh, this is a race challenge, so I'll go ahead and do that. It's a 1-on-1. If I win, I get this guy's car, that kind of thing. This is like that. You have these places in town where you can start the event, and the events not often, but sometimes they're like Mario Kart events. This track right here with those little glowy things, that's exactly what that is. And they're power-ups. There's missiles and stuff to throw behind you, and you basically have a mini Mario Kart match every so often in the game, and it plays really well. The other thing I was going to add in here is, how in the Sonic racing games, your vehicle turns into what it needs to be for the terrain. So if you're flying, it turns into a flight thing. If you're in the water, it's some sort of water version or whatever. That's what this is. So watch this. He hits the thing, boat. See, Lego boat. Now he's in the water and it plays a little wave racy, and then he's back out. Now he's in an all-terrain little four-wheeler while he's in the dirt. And they're all like that. And you unlock different vehicles to do this, and you can add to them and change color and all that. But it goes from boat to car to off-road and back again. And you have these matches. So if he wins this match, he gets a bunch of points and stuff to use to spend in the garage on his car or make better stuff or whatever. There's a story. It's a loose story, but it's a fun one so far. Very, very self-aware and goofy in the Lego world. You're in Bricklandia. I'm now in the second biome, which is like a big desert biome. John will love that. Actually, it's very nice, like red rock and stuff like that. So it's not your desert, like it's not your Mad Max desert, I should say.
I do like Mad Max, but
everything is destructible. So you run into other cars, other objects, certain buildings, signs, all that. It just crumbles into Lego everywhere. So that's kind of fun from a sort of Lego fantasy standpoint. And it's just high octane, ridiculous, super over the top, and really fun and really pretty is the other thing. It's a very nice looking game. Your first impression might be, this is a kid's racing game. I don't know. I don't know what's for kids anymore. It all feels fine to me. So a little bit of Wipeout in there, a little bit. The drifting's real good. I love the feel of the drift. This is it right here. If you see him using that purple line, see that? Whoops. You got turbo and drift. These are two things you jump between. I got this cool black car right now. I'm looking like a badass. I can drive it in town, run people over. It doesn't kill anyone, just knocks them out of the way. Turns out it's pretty good. I like it. I'm going to keep playing this. Lego 2K Drive. And big
Can
thanks.
You build your cars?
Oh, yeah. You can start from scratch. You can go, here's the other cool thing. You can put in the part number of an actual Lego brick of any kind. Like in their entire catalog of Lego parts, you can put it into the thing and it will produce it for you to build with.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's pretty rad. This Clutch Racington, this guy you just beat, there's a lot of names like that. It's all very tongue-in-cheek. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be serious in any way. It's just big, goofy play. And it's fun. And it's also just kind of a bit of a sandbox in that if you just want to drive around and go, oh, a bunch of collectibles, sweet, let's go find as many of these as I can, you can just do that, like GTA style, sort of, in some ways. It's neat. I like it.
There's like a free drive mode. That's cool.
Yeah, and there's
That is asking about Steam Deck compatibility.
100% Steam Deck verified and runs like a dream. No issues. That's where I played most of it so far anyway, about an hour and a half of it or something. Plays great on Steam Deck at high fidelity, like that. You're not sacrificing much that I can tell anyway. And also works great on PC, of course, cross-platform and all that stuff. I think you guys should grab it if that sounds at all interesting, because it's just a fun, So John, you and I both liked the Hot Wheels racing game. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
My only beef with that game was it was really good at the racing. It needs to be. That's core to the experience. But it just didn't feel like there was much else going on. Like it was just sort of, I'm not really caught up in the childlike nature of the tracks, or, the builder's kind of nice, but it's not that big a deal. And just collecting it felt like it just didn't really lean into what would make the toys fun. It leaned into what would make a racing game fun. And this has the opposite opinion about life. This one's like, what if this was just really fun to like find bricks, use bricks, build this, paint your car, dork with this thing, wreck this other thing, go nuts and see what happens kind of attitude, because it's not all races. Obviously it's a lot. Some of it's just navigating around GTA style and finding the events or whatever, or avoiding explosions like this idiot just didn't just now.
What a big dummy.
Yeah, what a big dummy. Oh, sorry, Johnny Long Plays or whatever your name is. Anyway. Anyway, it's delightful, wonderful little thing that I knew it was going to be okay, because I don't know, it just looked fun. It looked fun. But Shannon Fan was right. This is a rad little game, good for all ages. So check it out. And I think it may still be on sale. I'm not sure, but Lego 2K Drive. And I think it's the 2K people who do 2K things, right? The publisher, I think.
I would assume so.
Yeah, with the 2K in there, isn't that the deal? Give them the NFL back, jerks. All right. Now, and then the rest, all I had to say was that I played a ton of WoW. I missed our raid night, but I've been in there doing dailies and just, like you do. Beau, I understand you guys took her down again at Heroic and did all the Chiefs.
Yeah, we went on a achievement run we did that on normal.
Mm-hmm.
But we did all the achievements for all the bosses. It wasn't too bad. We one-shot most of it, and we got ourselves a little mount, which is the Swarmite, the little bug guy, but it's got an extra long nose.
Oh.
Looks kind of gross, but as all the mounts do in this expansion, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Like the last expansion is like, here's cool dragons. This one's like, here's a disgusting bug. And I like that more. I'm into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we took down Heroic Queen Ansric a second time.
Did you tanked for that, I assume? That was you tanked?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
All right, well done.
Yeah, as it turns out, I didn't want to play tank. As it turns out, as we've gotten to this point, I'm fully, tank brained.
It's fun.
I swap between the two interchangeably, and my gear is still scuffed. Like it's all like Fury Bis that I tank in, but whatever. Warriors don't need it. Warriors don't need gear that much.
Tanner and Tanner and Bobby are talking about swapping next season for DPS and tanking. So that should be interesting. I'm still going to tank because I'm really enjoying it. But
there's like some advice, that it's not great to be raid leader and to tank just because you're already paying attention to a lot.
Oh. Well, someone tell Tanner.
I don't know, but I mean, Tanner's a very capable person, so it's probably fine. But
sure.
What about you? Like, how's your tank and chops going?
I love it. I don't want to do anything else in group play. I mean, I'm DPSing for all my world stuff right now.
So we're gonna go to the Undermine with the goblins, and you're ready. We're gonna get some of that.
Yeah,
beautiful tanking going.
I mean, I hit 619. I know that's nowhere near your freaking. I'm at my level 635, and if someone would make that amulet for me, I might hit 636 and be you're Mac. You beat the game of World of Warcraft. I don't know.
And I'm almost at the 2500 mythic achievement as well. I just need like 20 more points, so I got to go run that. soon. But yeah, I'm like,
Ace.
Yeah,
I'm like ahead of the curve.
I think Beau's
like,
on the wrong show, Scott.
I know. You should be the Instance co-host.
You should be on the Instance.
Yeah, Bobby.
What do we do? Are we gonna ever do like a Frog Pants host draft?
That'd be fun.
Like, I think all of a sudden we get all the hosts together. Have listeners all vote which show we want people on.
Yeah.
The way I play games, I'm quick to abandon. That's I'm always worried about. I don't know.
You went through almost all of last year as a WoW fan. You're now starting this one. I think it's safe.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
There's been a lot of content. Like I've been playing. Well, I kind of want to get back to SOD a little bit because there's new content coming. And
it's time for a host draft.
Maybe you'll be like Thor and piss off your server and have to ban a bunch of people.
Yeah, I'll have to be kicked out of the game
because of a bad poll or whatever that was.
Don't.
Yeah. That's been a fun.
I put it in the news so I don't know how much you heard about that. I know I talked about it a ton on Monday. And
I saw his follow-up video where he explained about the bans and stuff, but it just sounds like it was a bad. This is my problem with hardcore and with SOD or Season of Discovery and hardcore and just classic in general. This sort of stuff can happen because one mistake. It's not how I want to play. I just can't.
No, it's mainly a hardcore thing, but also the thing that I don't know if you've seen the actual video of what happened, but it's like a red, that white dress, blue dress meme that went around where everyone was like, I see a white dress. And someone's like, well, I see a green dress. And you want to throttle them immediately.
Yeah.
And the whole internet was just outraged. It's basically that, but for WoW hardcore. It's a little like I get your point. Like you've already lost the game if you're playing hardcore WoW. Like that, you've already to some extent lost in playing that mode. But this thing is like catnip for like taking sides and stuff.
Oh yeah, big time. Because the stakes are higher. The stakes are higher, and that's what part of me is like, yeah, the stakes are higher. This is why you play a hardcore character in Diablo or a Path of Exile or something. You want to have that looming potential of I'm going to lose it all, but if I don't, look how badass I am. It just creates way more division.
But in those games, like other people don't really get you killed. Like it's not a thing. Like because of the nature of WoW dungeons, right? Someone pulls bad, someone aggroes something they shouldn't. That's a wipe. Which is already irritating in the regular game, but people like respawn and go again, right? But in hardcore, it's like, oh, I just lost 2 months of my life because you were being a dumbass.
And you've lost the Knight's Raid because you've lost 3 people on a bad pull and they're all dead.
Yeah, and they ain't coming back.
No.
They're done.
Take a month to 2 months to get back to where you are when you're doing end-game raiding. Like it is a savage ball stomping. And it's... But
I love that it exists. I after so much talk in our Discord, I was like, I should find out what this drama is. And I started down the rabbit hole, and then I went, what am I doing with my life? And that's actually what inspired the, you know what, I think I missed Games Done Quick this year. I think I'm going to just watch that instead. And I started doing that, and boy, I have never, whatever is the opposite of FOMO, like, that's what I felt. It was like, I'm missing out, and I couldn't be more happy that I'm missing out is what I felt.
Mm.
Yeah, I went full down the rabbit hole. I consumed many hours of content on the issue because it's... my philosophy on it was just like, there's so much like drama bait about real world issues with the wars going on and et cetera, that it felt good to be concerned with something so inconsequential. So
I agree. Like, yeah, if you're gonna get into a drama, like an inconsequential WoW drama is the way to go. But
on that scale, for me, it was refreshing in that sense. Where I'm just like, everything's fine. It's a video game, but the issue is that guild, it's designed to be reality TV. Like part of it is, reality TV is they take people.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take smart people. They take people with personality problems and throw them in a blender and produce television. And that is the point of this hardcore guild. It's like streamers only. And as you know, streamers, some are good. Some are,
bad.
Have personality problems, but it works on like a WWE level where you're like, this person, like the guy they have in charge of the guild right now is like an absolute meathead who is actually really good at video games, but he's a meme. Like it's fun that like to actually Tyler One is a League of Legends guy. He just got Grandmaster in chess, but he's like broided out and he screams, and he just did the same opening the whole time, and everyone laughed at him, but he still managed to beat people. So he's this fun conundrum to watch, and he's never played WoW, and he thinks it's a game for losers, but he's like, I'll show you how to play hardcore. And they put him in charge of the guild for the LOLs, and it's been funny watching him actually try to resolve conflict between people and stuff, because he's pretty bad at it, but in an entertaining way, like in a way where you're like, this is good television, but if you just think about it, these are people trying to make a guild. You're like, I do not want to be anywhere within 1,000 miles of this guild. It is so stupid.
Oh, it seems really bad, but it is good for that business. This is what you would want to have. This is what you want. Yeah.
And it's of note because, again, this is World of Warcraft finding its way to being like the most relevant thing, in spite of it being an old-ass game and an old-ass version of the game. And most importantly, which is why I say you lose when you play hardcore WoW, that game was not designed with hardcore in mind. Like, the deaths you have in that game are just doing normal stuff. Like, I'm going to go to the bakery and get some bread, and then a 50 level higher monster comes and thwacks you, or something stupid happens. Like, there's so much stupid death in that game. It's not designed for hardcore, so it's like, but it's still somehow is like this catnip that keeps drawing people back because I guess of its cultural relevancy. Everyone's played a little bit of WoW and can understand what they're watching.
It's meme core. Yeah, what it is. Meme core.
But I feel bad because Pirate Software, who's a guy, we've talked about him a lot on the show and we kind of liked him, has become an absolute villain over what's happened. And I guess, John, you went down the rabbit hole a little bit. Like, just for our listeners, basically in hardcore, when you're in a dungeon and shit goes bad, no one wants to die, so they say, like, run. It's time to get out. And the general
you want to see if I'm going to piss people off by taking a side?
Well,
I absolutely will.
If somebody says
get out of the dungeon, run, you run, and it's not your job to apologize for doing it. Listen to me. I don't care how egotistical you may sound. If someone says get out and you got out, you did what you were told by your raid leader, and you don't have to apologize for that. And if anybody says otherwise, fuck them.
Ah, look at that. I like that.
Okay, well, I'm not as intensely on board with your side, but we're in agreement on
That's what you wanted, right? You wanted a hot take so people could really like.
It's better for our business.
I legitimately wanted to hear from John's opinion. You guys are WoW players, and it's important. I wasn't trying to create drama or get your thing, but I legitimately wanted to know what John thought.
I thought you were trying to get YouTube comments, so I was like, all right, I'll go full tilt on this.
If you guys wanted to get real full tilt, real crazy, we would talk about, we're not going to do it, but we could talk about the Path of Exile 2 paid account that Elon Musk had. And the reason it attaches here a little bit, it's like, who cares? Freaking, it's weird for the richest man in the world to be faking his account. That's all weird. That shouldn't even be a conversation. It's just freaking weird, and off it goes. But then I guess Asmongold supposedly did a watch along of the thing where he just ripped constantly on what he was seeing. Probably rightly so, because it was pure bullshit. Yeah. And
everyone did.
Everybody did. But he got his blue check taken away.
I just saw that. I just saw Elon Musk is super mad at Asmongold because he made a video about him.
Yeah, and he took his check.
He took his blue check mark away, and he posted on Twitter. He's like, he doesn't get to say anything unless his editors tell him he can. It's the weirdest, like... Oh, I will tell you, that is a rabbit hole I went down, and that's a rabbit hole I will go down. That's a drama that I find incredibly funny, because to me, there is nothing funnier than someone who, by most people's accounts, like if you ask most people who are living paycheck to paycheck, like, wouldn't it be nice to have more money? Wouldn't that solve your problems? And people go, yeah. To think that somebody who has more money than they know what to do with is like, God, I gotta spend some of this money so people think I'm good at video games. That is the funniest thing in the world to me.
It is hilarious.
It is so sad, and it is so stupid. That one I did go down the rabbit hole on.
Yeah. Same here, but because that I actually found personally infuriating as someone who has a hardcore title. Elon, do you have your name on a Lilith statue? Hell no.
No.
And you wouldn't unless you bought it, you little punk bitch.
I think it's funny though. Like if you would think if you went and did that, which to him is no money at all to pay for someone to run these characters or that character, the hardcore character. Yeah. And then when no one believes you and you say, fine, I do a live stream. That's not his voice, but he does a live stream of the thing and fumbles around worse than me, who has not played the game at all.
He tried to drop items into his inventory. I mean, how much of a smoking gun do you need?
He acted like he forgot this isn't Diablo. He just he was leaving like valuable stuff on the ground, picking up whites for no reason, bumping into shit. Didn't seem like he knew his build at all. It was painfully obvious in that video that he didn't have any idea.
It was. Yes, yeah. So it was painfully obvious, and I question anything else he's done too, because once a liar, always a liar, kind of thing. Like this, absolutely bought his way into. Again, it is video games, so it's LOL. It's not that serious, but this guy, he's in charge of this cheater. Is like this pathetic cheater who cheated at something so inconsequential is like given the keys to the city. It's like so.
Money is weird.
So infuriating.
That's why I like it. That's why I like this whole thing, because I can laugh at it because it's funny as hell to me. And it's all I need some hilarity on top of the otherwise shit show of him. And to make it even better, it's proof that all the money in the world, not just a lot of money, all the money that anyone's ever had, something that would, what did somebody say? They could spend $1 million a day and it would take him 20,000 years, or I don't know what it is, some crazy number to spend it all. All the money in the world, and you're still weird and fragile about a thing like this. Like you feel like to me, what that tells me is that money does not solve all problems, and it doesn't solve the most basic ones, which is, what kind of person are you?
I need to be good at Path of Exile.
Yeah, it's weird, dude.
Well, it's just video games kind of have this because you have methods like this, but it's like you can't fake playing guitar if that's something he thought was valuable. You have to practice and you have to put in time and earn it. Any skill. The drawing Scott does, you draw a whole bunch. The writing John does, he's practice writing. Like anyone who does anything, you got to practice at it.
Yeah.
And the same is true if you want to play video games and be like, people go like, wow, you're so good. Stop running X and stop involving yourself in government. Join us gamers in our degenerate 18 hours a day of grinding and practicing and playing. Like, it's just so, especially something like this. Like I said, it means something to me that I accomplished what I accomplished, but like, it was, it was
a lot.
A price to be paid. I earned it.
It about killed you.
Just watch somebody like that do that. It definitely frustrates me. Like
it doesn't.
His account should be banned,
and they should.
The character died.
Yeah, that's true. But they should. They won't. Money does all sorts of things in the world.
He didn't know how to replenish mana. He was fighting a boss trying to use attacks, and his mana was empty for 10 whole seconds.
And he had mana. He had flasks. He just didn't know what he was doing.
He just didn't know what button it was to press it. And to be where he was, you'd have to have played for 200 hours. There's no shot in hell.
I find
on hardcore, you got that far without knowing how to replenish your mana.
I just think if you're the richest human being on the planet, and maybe the history of the planet, although if you account for inflation, I think I read that Genghis Khan had something like 4-point-something trillion if it was today. Anyway, but let's just say,
yes, you're right. Money doesn't buy skill.
No, it doesn't. And why pretend? Like, what did that gain him?
But he's going to tell people like when to work, how to work properly, what work is. Like he employs a lot of people, and so they're going to listen to him about what skill is. Meanwhile, this guy has to buy skill. Like it's really unfair.
And by the way, if you're like a pro Muskie out there and you want to leave comments, just know they'll probably get deleted. I had to deal with this last week.
You should be mad too. I mean, your Jesus has.
Oh, they should all be mad.
Esmongold. Like this is the downfall's going to be like.
It is though. Like that's the problem is you don't have to get tribal about it. It doesn't matter who it is. Anyone who did this.
I agree.
Like we've all done. Like I bought gold back in the day because back when I was playing WoW. And I was doing my Netherwing dailies and looking for those stupid flipping eggs so I could get my Nether Drake. I spent so much time doing it, I didn't make any money in WoW because all my time was going. And then all of a sudden I had the ability to get a nether drake and no money to buy the flying to be able to fly my nether drake. And I was like, hey, I don't have a life and I have some money. How can I solve this problem?
Yeah.
And you know what? I did it. And you know what? I bet there's a bunch of people that did it because they wouldn't still be selling gold and shit if nobody did it. But just own up to what you've done in life.
Yeah,
don't
but you
pretend
also...
like, oh, I busted my ass. You know what I busted my ass for? Getting those nether wing eggs. That was a pain in the ass.
You didn't e-peen all over the place, though, is my point. Like,
but I didn't go buy gold and then go, guys, I found the greatest gold solution in the world. I'm really good at earning gold. I went from not being able to afford it, and in one day, all of a sudden, I got it.
Yeah.
You do what we all do, which is say, like, I'm trash at this game, but come watch me play. That's all.
Yeah.
This dumb had to do was be like, yeah, I boosted an account and I'm going to play it at a high level. Come watch me derp. He doesn't have to be good at. Why does he have to be a champion when he's not?
Everybody can be good and bad at things. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, I don't give a shit who it is.
This would have been lame if Scott did it.
Yeah, it would have been really lame
because he wouldn't have had as much money, but it would have been lame no matter who did it.
Right. Yeah, like it's
not about the person. It's about the action, and the action was stupid.
You know what else?
And it's worth laughing about.
Even if, like, imagine being like Asmongold's now under the skin of Elon Musk. That must feel weird, you know, because the guy's got this weird prominence. Asmongold now, like, enemy number one. Do you think you worry about that? Like, billionaires.
I think my favorite thing that I saw about this is when Elon tweeted this. On his own site that he owns, he got community noted corrected because he put out something that wasn't true.
I think Asmongold's been doing this for years, though. It's just money. Like every time somebody, because he is not great. I'm not a big fan, but at the same time, he's a guy. Let him have his YouTube channel. He always says something terrible, and his views go up. And he's just farming money. And he's comfortable, I guess, being the bad guy. You know, like, it doesn't... Some people get attention like that and they go offline and they don't want to deal with it. He seems resilient to it. Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to keep doing it. Thank you for the money, everybody. And that's all it is.
Yeah. Well...
so that's why it's like, don't wrestle with a pig. Like, everyone's giving that oxygen and just feeding him. And I'm just like, just don't pay it. If you like it, you like it. Fine,
I used to wonder what would be the difference between me and Larry David. Because I would watch Curb and I would think, man, it's a little uncomfortable how much I understand this man and his philosophy.
How much
what's the difference? What would make me go full Larry David in life? Seinfeld money is the answer. Like, that's Seinfeld money is the difference between me being more of a human being versus less of a human being.
Yeah, well, in his case too, he's playing a character, and it's not, people who know him. You always hear these stories about he's cracking up the most on set. He can't keep a straight face. Like, he's just like not that guy. Characters, I get, no problem, do it all day. Even if you get associated with that character, fine. Maybe that's what Asmongold's doing, is playing a character. But Elon Musk is just a pud monkey.
Yeah,
he's just so lame, dude. It's just the lamest thing.
A fraud. Like it's. I'm glad it's out there. I think someone like that's clearly not going to learn from their mistakes. They made it to their 50s and are doing shit like that. So, just give it time.
Sleeping in money. Like, why would you? Like, you've got more money than God.
Money can't buy him what he really wants, which is to be special in the eyes of the world. And the more he tries, the worse it gets. So,
We're going to get comments. You guys may as well seriously save your effort. I don't care if he's a brilliant engineer or about his brilliant stuff. Like, don't give a shit. I care. You know what? I got a friend up in Canada who emails me about this stuff, and I'm fine to talk to him. But he and I came to an agreement. He's basically, I don't want to out him, but he basically said, and I think he's right about this now that I think about it. He's like, there are things about him that do make him a brilliant engineer. And some of his, especially in years gone by, lately he just sort of walks around and does nothing. But he's a guy with a smart mind, knows how to do stuff, but he's also a gigantic dick. And all that would entail.
Aren't there like... sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I just like, aren't there like 100,000 engineers? Why is this one someone we got to be into?
We don't have to, but that's what dicks do.
Can't you find other engineers? It's like that whole thing where it's like, oh, this, these firefighters, for example, in LA that, did brave work. It's like, we should be admiring those people. You know what I mean? It's like, why? Who cares? He's like, he's a brilliant engineer. It's like, there's probably hundreds of thousands of brilliant engineers. Like, who gives a shit about this one? Like, if you really like engineering that much,
they don't.
I'm
it's
sure
about
there
money.
Are other engineers like that you could find that are cooler.
It's about who has all the money, dude. That's it. Who has all the money?
I think we have this bad tendency as human beings where it's like when we don't like someone, we need to not like anything about them, and it's become a real big thing around the social media era. Is like, if I think X person is bad, and I don't mean X the website, I still call it Twitter, but if I think this person's bad, therefore anything they do has to be bad, and I have to do any sort of mental gymnastics in the world to convince myself that whatever it is bad. Like there's a big push right now. Again, it's another whole controversy. I didn't go down the rabbit hole, but like Mr. Beast is under fire for a lot of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And people will do all these cartwheels to try and figure out, okay, well, we hate Mr. Beast, so therefore, if he did some charity thing, we have to find a reason to hate that too. Mm-hmm. Because heaven forbid we acknowledge that someone can be a bad person, and every now and then they might do something good. And I think this is sort of it's the same philosophy. Like, if you love someone, you can also acknowledge that they do bad things. I hope my wife loves me, but I know that I snore really badly.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have to like that. And I don't expect her to. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can think someone's great. You can think they're the second coming.
Yeah.
But understand that these people are going to do stupid things, and if somebody uses their vast fortune to pretend they're good at Path of Exile 2 when they're not, it's a stupid thing. It's not about politics. It's not about who the person is. You can just judge that for what it is and feel however you want about the person overall.
Yeah. What he did was lame. It's dumb. Don't do it. Or at least if you do it, say, yeah, I paid to have this character level up now. Let's see if I can go learn it, or be obvious about it.
People will just laugh about it if you're honest. It's more he was ranked 12. Like he's in, had he made it to level 100 in some finishing place, he would claim, he goes on. There was this smash cut of him on various shows. Everyone's like licking his boots because it's like, oh, you're here, you're the god gamer. It's that kind of a thing. Like to me, we've I don't want to use the word cancel people, but people's reputations have been tarnished for less about being honest and disingenuous. This person has gone on to brag about how great they are at games, and if you're boosting, you don't get to say that.
Yeah, but it's also where you're punching from, right? It's like Beau, you could be in a giant building, the most expensive building in New York, and it's empty except you two are on the main floor, you and Elon Musk, and you're both standing there, and you could say, you're a cheater and you lied about your Path of Exile thing. And he'd say, hold on a second. He'd pick up his phone, hit one button, and he now owns the building you're in. Do you know what I'm saying? It's he's punching from a direction none of us can relate to. And that's why he's not canceled, because it doesn't take anything from him. He can have people killed.
People are needing his money right now. Yes, he's involved in a lot of stuff. So
he could kill people.
Yes, there's the sycophantism is strong. Like that's, of course, we all know that's why he's where he is right now.
Yeah, but if it's just some chud that you found on Twitch or whatever, and we were like, dude, you're cheating, we can see it. That guy may disappear out of whatever.
We do still live in a democracy. We can say, like, I like this person, because he does get involved in politics. And admittedly, it's not my country, but he's got so much money that he affects things globally, right? And it's just, I think if you're a cheater, I take games seriously. When I'm competing, I don't cheat, right? Because I want respect, and I want to respect people who accomplish things, and I don't like when they cheat. And so even though you're like, yeah, it's just video games, there's a lot of money in video games. A lot of people take it seriously in esports. I think it's a big deal. And when I look at someone who's like, I want to influence society and I want to be a big important person, and I go, but you cheat. but you cheat. You have no principles. Like I don't approve or like you. I don't want you in charge of anything that affects my life or which is why
I don't either.
So, yeah. And you might say you'd be cynical. They're all cheaters. They're all terrible in some way. And it's like, yeah, but they stay in the shadows. There's like, if you're going to put yourself out there and I'm going to see it, then I'm going to go, yeah, I do not respect that.
He's a rogue that pretends to be a paladin. There you go.
And that's why Asmongold called him out. I haven't seen that particular video. And if his response was, oh, I'm going to take away your check mark, then that was his whole point of buying that social media platform. We need to have a town square where we can discuss things and have the truth. The moment a truth bomb stings a little bit, oh, let's silence that mofo. Let's punishment time. Is the exact opposite of everything he's claimed to be.
Well, okay? Yeah, but that's been happening for so long. Like this is just another one of those. It's just like
I know, but like it hits a lot of people are gamers. It's sad to say, but the gaming influencer sphere is important in all of this, and it could have. It's silly to say, but it could have, this controversy, I would hope, has like a greater impact than anything like mainstream media could like produce on this.
It's actually that's a fair point, right? Like, does it move the needle? Does it socially move the needle more than something where a bunch of aged out, rich 70-year-olds stuck in permanent Congress jobs?
Every time it's like, oh, his company sucked, it went under. They're like, well, he's a businessman. He plays 5D chess. You don't understand. But the person defending him also, nobody understands. It's just he's rich. And when you're rich, interest alone will catapult you forever into the future. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But video games, okay, sit in front of the computer and show us your skill. And then we can, this is why I always say video games reveal people. They revealed Pirate Software this week. Okay. Because he did talk himself up as a big gamer and he isn't that good. I still say people were wrong to jump on him, and they've been very bad towards him. And he was fine. It's just a video game. He was fine. But they reveal people, and it's like clearly he's not as skilled as he talked himself up to be. I've seen some clips of him talking about how great of a mage he was, and then he didn't exhibit that skill when it really counted. That's the one thing that's true about that situation.
Sure.
And same with Elon Musk. I'm the god gamer. I'm the best gamer. Like, yeah, I do all these companies, and I can pwn Shroud in a 1v1 shootout match. It's like, no, you can't. Like he didn't say that specifically, but he has that energy of like, I'm up there with these great people.
Ooh, you want to make some money? I would watch that match. That would be fun. It would last 5 seconds and Shroud would destroy him, but I'd watch it.
Everyone would destroy him, but he's not bragging to gamers. He's bragging to the mainstream, right? He's like on Joe Rogan or he's on Fox News or he's talking to whoever who has no idea about video games, being like, I'm a genius at video games. And those receipts are coming in now. So
we got him.
So in conclusion, Scott, you played WoW this week.
I played WoW. It was great. Had a good time.
This was in the news for later, but like the drama's been peak this week. I know we skip it most of the time, but it's been so good.
No, it's a fun discussion. I think it's fine that we did it, but I will now swing it back around. And I think I was about to tell you guys that I'm back into another playthrough of Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones for some reason. The GBA Fire Emblem game, Sacred Stones, is one of my favorite games ever made. And I about once a year get a hankering to go in there and play through it again. So I don't know, pretty far. Again, I'll probably beat it again. I love this game. I wish there were more Fire Emblem games. I wish they were all on PC or something. I wish it wasn't. I had to have a Nintendo box to play them, but in this case, I don't because I'm lawfully using an old cartridge ROM. I owned all these games on the GBA, but so I absolutely own this game. Who knows where the ROM came from? But I'm playing it again on my Steam Deck, and I love this game so much. If you've never played Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones, then you are missing out on one of the greatest tactical RPGs ever made.
I do love Fire Emblem.
Oh, it's so good.
I love it so much. Like just watching this alone is making me go, what if I played some Fire Emblem?
Yeah, right? I'll send you some links on how to get your Steam Deck to do it easily without no hiccups. Anyway, that's what I've been up to this week. John, let's throw it to you. It says here, this is your Steam Deck year. I'd like to hear what that means. Steam Deck.
This is my Steam Deck year, indeed. I've talked about it on the show that I have some battery life anxiety, and as a result, my Steam Deck, which I got I think 2 years ago, it went all of 2024 unplayed. Didn't even pop up on my hey, here's your Steam in review. And when Scott showed the categories and I realized that was a category they tracked and therefore I absolutely did not touch it, I went, man, I have this really expensive piece of hardware that I am not using.
Yeah.
And that combined with my wife playing a lot of Civilization 6 on the Switch and me going, man, it looks like she's having fun gaming on the couch and stuff. And maybe I could game more if I could take my gaming around. I have the ability to do that. I should do that.
Yeah.
So I am making my resolution. This year I'm going to play my Steam Deck more. And I am happy to say that no matter what happens the rest of the year, I've definitely beaten 2024 because I did play some Dungeon Clawler on it. And I also played some Final Fantasy VII Remake on it.
Oh, yeah. That plays pretty good on there.
Yeah. It does. It plays surprisingly good. Now, definitely downscaled a little bit graphically, but that's fine.
For a little screen, it's not bad. Or smaller screen.
It's a great way to get to play more of that game, to just go, because it also shares, so it's cross-play, so I can go play some progress on the Steam Deck, then go, oh, I'm going to the office, shut it down, come in here, and just pick up right where I was. So it's really, really good for that. And a great, like, there's just something about it. Like, I always get in the mindset of, like, the Nintendo DS when I get on a portable system where it's like, okay, I need to play something that's a little less graphically intensive, something a little simpler, got to do this. And then I remember the Steam Deck actually can handle some pretty big games pretty effectively. And it felt really cool to be sitting there playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. The audio's good, the gameplay's good. Like, all of it's just going really well. And I was like, oh, I'm loving this because I am trying to get through Remake before Rebirth comes out on PC next week. I don't think I'm going to make it, even with the Steam Deck. But I'm trying.
Yeah.
And that's a part of it. So, yeah, I'm all in on that and having a great time. I guess I'll talk about Remake while I'm talking about it anyway. That game is just so good. I continue to just be kind of enchanted at how good that remake is. And I do know one thing that happens in Rebirth, and it's probably the reason that I really didn't put a ton of effort into playing it on PS5, because I did buy it on PS5.
Yeah.
It's a spoiler, so I'm not going to say what it is, because I know for a fact Beau hasn't played it, and I haven't played it either. But there is one thing that I know that the game deals with, and for those that know, I think this will be enough to tell you without spoiling it. There's a story trope that's very common in cinema these days that kind of falls into Final Fantasy Rebirth, and it's not my favorite trope, and I know that it's a factor, and it kind of made me lose my interest, because there's a lot of intrigue in Remake. Where it's like, what does this mean? Where, it feels like events in Remake are different from original 7, but then there's these weird ghosts that come in that try to make sure that the events play out as they were. And why is that? What does that mean? Is this a semi-sequel? What is this? And I think that some of the answers they give in Rebirth, I don't know if I'm going to love, but we'll see. I'm going to give it its fair shake when I get to it, and I'll let you know what I think when I get to that. But
yeah, you're playing it no matter what. It's just a matter of, I'm glad you're doing that. I need to know too, because I need to finish the first one, and I will if you tell me that all the worries about the new one are misfounded. I don't mean the technical issues with it not running great in some places on PS5, but I mean like apparently I keep hearing that there's way too many mini games, which is something you would never say about Yakuza, but you might say it about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
things like that. I'm really curious about one of my trusted people in my life, you included, would say about that stuff, and not just the general internet.
I mean, for me, I've always, Final Fantasy is always a slow-paced game. Like, I always am just like, I'm not in a rush. So side stuff and stuff like that doesn't tend to bother me. But, we'll see. If it does, then, yeah, it's probably pretty egregious if it's even bothering me. but we'll have to see how that goes. We're a week away from Rebirth, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Nice. Mega Knight says I'll play Final Fantasy Remake when it's finished. That game is finished. I think he means Rebirth.
I'm going to defend Omega 9 on this, even though I'm a big Final Fantasy, because I'm the person who saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and said, I'll tell you what what I think of that movie when it's done.
I see what you mean.
It's not done. And if you want to say that this game that got divided into 7 bits isn't done, that's fine. Like, there's no reason that you have to play it now.
No, I didn't realize that's what he meant, because I feel that way about StarCraft in retrospect. I wish I would have just waited and played the whole thing at once. That's hard to do when you're love something like StarCraft. But yeah, I'm with you. I wish these games were, especially this one, where it wasn't a complete game, at least story-wise and content-wise, and then they decided to break it up into 3. And just because we live in the advanced 3D graphics age doesn't mean you have to pick everybody's pocket 3 times. I don't know.
Yeah, I get what they're going for. I think Remake is a great game on its own. Even if they had stopped, I think it's a pretty good game. Like, it does kind of leave you with, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go play the original, which is maybe not how you should feel at the end of a quote-unquote remake. But I think it does good to stand on its own, but I also don't fault anybody that's like, no, I want to make sure that these all come out and are all quality before I buy them. I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Fair point. Yeah, what else?
I played Dynasty Warriors Origins.
No! I was hoping somebody was going to try this.
Ask me anything, Scott.
Is it button mashy?
Yes.
Does it have a bunch of nondescript anime boys?
I wouldn't say nondescript.
Okay.
And they're anime adjacent.
I couldn't think of another question. Let me try this one. Is it all are there any progression mechanics in the game?
Yes.
Oh.
What's the biggest number of dudes you killed in one attack combo?
I think I killed 400 people in one attack.
Good Lord, dude. Okay.
Right. And so considering this game is like WoW trash the game, is it enjoyable, or do you think that's an unfair comparison?
I think that's an unfair comparison.
Okay.
Because the WoW trash is annoying because you're not there for it at all. Like, nobody signs up like, man, fuck these bosses because I just want to fight the stuff that barely drops anything between them. That's why I'm here. Boy, can it respawn faster? That would be fun. But you do come to Dynasty Warriors for the trash. Honestly, when a boss shows up, you're actually like, man, all right, I guess I gotta use a little strategy with my button mashing, because there's just something about, it starts off and the first prologue stage is you and one other guy and a whole army in front of you, and he's like, all right, let's go. There's no trepidation. It's like, we're good fighters. We'll go deal with this. And it's like, yeah, it's the kind of scenario where in a movie, everybody would be like, oh, we got to wait for backup. But in this, you're like, nah, I'll go take care of that. That's fine. This is doable. And there's just something so satisfying. So it looks good. It looks very good. And it has been incredibly smooth. There was a part of me that was like, oh, is this going to run? Big armies all charging in both sides, because it's not always just you versus an army. Sometimes it's you and your army versus them and another army. And you're just in the middle of the fight, being the weapon of mass destruction for your side. And it looks really good. It's telling a genuinely interesting story. I might recommend not playing it with English voices. It's a little bit cheesy, but I feel like if I didn't understand what they were saying, it might come across a little more genuine. It might have that effect.
And they're like, when they're talking in Japanese, so you're just like, this sounds like it must be badass.
Yeah. And I mean, the story mode you play as a wanderer, and you can, the default name is literally Wanderer. And it starts just the way you want this sort of thing to start. There's this uprising between, the peasants that are starving and a food cart coming through. And this little girl sees her parents hungry, and she charges the cart because she's going to get her dad something to eat. And the soldier brings his weapon down, and you're like, oh God, what's going to happen? And your guy's standing there. He's not even holding his sword straight. He's got it behind him and blocked it. And he's just standing there with a cool hat.
Jeez.
And he's just like, no. And then it turns into a fight against the whole army. It's awesome. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this game is not just that, like, oh, I haven't played Dynasty Warriors in a while, and this one, and it's nice to be back. I think this is legitimately one of the first big games of the year.
Ew. Well, I mean, the reviews are really good.
It's overwhelmingly positive to start. That's pretty big.
I'm so tempted just because it seems like dumb fun, but also good. Like you would say the story so far, solid.
The story has actually been really good. I've been into it. The combat, it's mashy, but it is fun. There is an element of strategy to it. So yes, when you're surrounded by just a bunch of enemies, you're pretty much just going X, 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 X. Like that's fine. But when you fight against a boss or a general, all of a sudden it's like, well, now I got to block or dodge or, do combo breakers and stuff like that. It's genuinely really good combat. Chad is asking Lubu. I'm pretty sure I remember what Lubu looks like. I love Lubu. And I think he's in the opening cutscene. I think he's the last person you see in the cutscene.
So story-wise, this Origins thing really, it's like some ultimate prequel to all the other Dynasty Warriors. Is that the idea?
Well, all of it is just a fantasizing retelling of an actual event.
Okay. All the games have been, or is this?
Yeah. Okay. Like right now we're in the Yellow Turban Rebellion. That's what's going on right now in the game.
The Yellow Turban Rebellion.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
I've never heard of that. All right. I'm learning something here too, as well as getting hyped.
Yeah, it's not like this is a big long saga that you've had to follow. Like people know these characters because it's always the exact same characters because it's always the exact same story.
Oh, tempting me, dude. 69, worth it, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Beau? You want to go kill?
I don't know. It's tempting. I mean, I see like, just generally speaking, I'm like, it's not really a genre I normally play. But if it's like, the pinnacle of the genre, it might be a good one to check out.
It seems super fun. There's item drops, and that got me in a way that I didn't think was. You level up each weapon individually. So like you start with a sword, but then I got gifted a spear from a buddy, and he was like, yeah, get a spear. And then I went into a battle, and then during that battle, they dropped a better sword. So then I did another battle. They do skirmishes, so you can level up, so you can grind. So there's not just moving stories forward. You can also go and do some grinding if you want.
Oh, I love.
And in there, it dropped a better sword. And I went, oh, that's an even better sword. So I equipped that. So I did another one. I was like, I should get my spear better. So I did one more match with a spear, and then a better spear dropped. And I was like, oh, we're in business now, baby.
Damn.
And then there's this mechanic where you construct gems, and it gives you basically a static buff, but you level those up. It's almost kind of a gacha, but not in a, like, you can't buy it. It's just more like they've gamified a gacha-esque mechanic into the game and the natural progression. So you get the dopamine hit of like, oh, the numbers are going up, and it's kind of random, but in a, like, they're not after your money way. It's just like for fun.
I can't believe how interested I am in a Dynasty Warriors game. I'm kind of losing my mind here. You're selling it really well, and
I think the thing to think about is because I'm kind of stressed out. There's just so many games piling up. Like February is going to be huge, dude.
Yeah,
so February is going to be insane.
Going to be big.
That's just why I'm like, I'd probably buy it and might not even get to it because in the next couple of weeks, like we got Civ coming out.
I think the thing about this, here's the case I would make. Not that I'm telling you have to buy it, because I don't think it's as funny when Beau buys things.
Thanks.
But it's funny when I buy them because I'm usually a sucker for John's wiles. Wiles is temptations, whatever it is John does. He does things.
But I would say that, like, this game, it feels big and epic, and I am invested in the story. Like, I am curious to see, because, like, learning about it, and obviously this is not a historical it's a work of fiction based on historical events. But like, I am interested in it from that perspective. But even then, it's going and fighting armies. It's like, oh, I want to have a cool battle. And if something else comes out that catches my attention, which it did, I don't feel bad walking away from it. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to get in. I'm going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be really cool, awesome. And you know what? If I walk away from it for a little bit, I can get right back into it. It is a very easy get in, get out kind of game that there's investment you can put in, but there's not a mandatory investment that the game is saying, no, that you need to really put your life and soul into this. Yeah. And I like having that. Like, to me, you got Dungeon Clawler if you want something super casual. You've got this as sort of your easy to play game, and then you've got something that's going to require more attention and time that can fill in that like focus title slot. So to me, it fits within that trifecta really well.
All right. Sufficiently tempted, I think. Part of me thinks it's the perfect game to get in January because we're about to get hit with some really focusy games. Like, we're about to get Civ 7 and other games you really need to focus on stuff. This is just a chance to go tear some shit up, enjoy it.
Well, and especially it's a good counter to those games, right? Civ is going to be sitting there, slow paced strategy, taking turns, moving things. This is like you're watching those little guys go in Civ, and you're like, I could be down there.
Yeah,
I could be turning the tide of this battle myself, swinging a big old staff and knocking 100 people in the air. It'd be amazing.
Well, the real kicker really, too really is this Civ is coming. Civ's going to take a bunch of focus for a bunch of reasons, but along your Steam Deck conversation, that thing is Steam Deck verified and controller ready day one, which is going to
know my wife, I said she's been playing Civ 6 and she was like, oh, I was so tempted by Civ 7, but it's so expensive because she never buys anything that's new games.
Yeah, I get it.
So she like the idea of spending $70 for a video game. She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She's like, it's just so expensive. And I said, well, why are you looking at it? What are you going to play it on? Because her PC computer, like her gaming PC died. And I was like, what are you going to play it on? She's all, it's coming to the Switch. I said, it is?
Yeah.
And apparently it is. I would imagine maybe the Switch 2 as well. Maybe they'll confirm that. I don't know. Yeah. But I was kind of surprised. Civ 7 apparently coming to Switch. She's thinking about it.
Yeah, coming to Switch. The Steam version will be deck verified. There's going to be a bunch of reasons to be able to take this thing on the go with you, and that's dangerous. You give me that game in bed, I may never go to bed or get up.
Just live in bed. You're going to be like Uncle Joe.
That's going to be bad. I mean, that's a must-have, so I'm planning on getting it no matter what. Uncle Joe from
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah, Uncle Joe. That Uncle Joe.
It looks like they're innovating too with that one. So yeah.
Yeah, 7's looking awesome. I'm very excited about that game. Yeah. All right. Well, you did a bunch of that. Now tell me about the rootless trees. No, sorry, the root trees are dead.
Yeah, the root trees are dead. I also got kind of turned on to this game from Jason Schreier. I saw his post, and he said it was like Return of the Obra Dinn, and you had me at it's like Return of the Obra Dinn. This is a game that basically sets up the idea of there's been a plane crash, and these three sisters, the Roottrees sisters, and their father, who was the president of the Roottrees company, died in the plane crash. And this takes place in 1998. You are a genealogy expert. You're really good at mapping family trees and family lines and all of that. And you have been tasked with putting together the full family tree to determine who is going to be getting money based on the plane crash and all of that. You have to put together the family tree. And basically, very much like the Obra Dinn, you're given little bits of information. You need to use that information to try and piece together who's related to who's the oldest, and put their family tree in order. And you're given the full board, and you're given a internet browser that's a very rudimentary internet browser, a nice laser printer, and some tools to start putting this together. It's very much like Return of the Obra Dinn. The only thing it's missing, and it's not bad, but it does not have Return of the Obra Dinn's amazing soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that thing has great. Oh, that's so good.
I in fact, there's a part of me that's like, what if I turned the sound down and just played the Obra Dinn soundtrack while I played this game? But it's not bad. It is using, like, you can kind of see the budget in the music. It's a lot of Kevin MacLeod music. If you've ever done content creation, you should know who Kevin MacLeod is. If not, if you've ever watched a YouTube video, you've probably heard his music, because it's royalty free and widely available. Yeah. But it's a lot of like jazzy, detective-y kind of sounding stuff while you're doing your searching and all of that. And it does seem like there's maybe going to be a story of intrigue while you go about it too, because every now and then, after every 3 people, it locks in to tell you that you've gotten 3 perfectly correct. So you, just like with Obra Dinn, you can kind of game it a little bit, but for the most part, you have to be very certain about a set number before it tells you you're right. And so far, it's been every 9 people, there has been an event that happens that progresses kind of a greater narrative.
Interesting.
With the mystery behind all of this. So that's been really cool. I love these sorts of games. Return of the Obra Dinn is one of my favorite video games ever made, and I'm really liking playing this. And this did steal a lot of time because I was like, I'm going to check this out before bed. And then my wife came and said she was going to bed. I said goodnight. I was like, is she going to bed early? And I kept playing, and then I looked down, and it was midnight. And I went, oh, yeah. I got to be up real soon. I got to go to bed too. So, yeah, it's really, really good. If you are into kind of discovering context clues, doing that sort of research, piecing together a puzzle in that way, this seems like it's a good one. I think the only area I'm going to really struggle, I haven't had to yet, so I can't say for sure. This game does a lot of, like, it's clearly telling you the years on a lot of things. And I am so bad with years and numbers. I'm worried that eventually that's going to become essential information. And I'm not good at that. That's going to be, we're going to be flexing a new muscle to put all this together. But that's kind of where I'm getting to, it feels like, because I've gotten through a lot of the good surface clues, and now we're getting into dates and years and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh no, I got to remember. I might have to get out some yarn.
Yeah, you got to start writing this shit down.
It does have a really good in-game note system, though. So to its credit, this is another thing that often comes up. I know, Scott, we kind of dipped our toe in Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, which is, again, another, from what I've played, very good game.
Yeah.
But that was a game where Jocelyn, who recommended it, said, get out a piece of paper and take some notes.
Yeah.
This game is very good. Any text you find, you can highlight, and it will log in your notebook the text you highlighted and where it was, so that you can click it and pull that document back up easily. It's got a place where you can type in your own notes. You can make new tabs and new notes. Like, they give you a ton of tools in game for kind of chronicling all this information that you're taking in. So kudos to them for putting it in game. But yeah, there is a part of me that's also like, I probably need some paper. Yeah, I gotta write some things down.
Yeah. I feel you there. It's like that game, the one you mentioned before that Joss told us to play, and I already forgot it. What is it again? Lorelei and the Secret Monkey, or whatever it is. Yeah. That thing was great until I had to find paper, and then I couldn't find paper. So I'm going to try to do that again, because she would really like us to really see the meat of that game, because she's claiming it's the best thing that came out last year. So more time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Excellent. What else you get up to?
I watched a movie, and it's video game related, so I'm going to talk about it here on what we've been playing. I watched a documentary called George A. Romero's Resident Evil. And this was a documentary that came out that kind of chronicles the almost was but never was George A. Romero version of the Resident Evil film, which we got dangerously close to getting before it was snatched away from us. And as a movie, I'm going to say this. I love this sort of stuff. I not long ago on this very show, I recommended a YouTube channel called Bullets and Blockbusters, I think is the channel. And I have watched literally every YouTube video that they have published. I love this sort of thing, like what could have been, what we almost had, how it almost came together. This is one of those. It's overly long. It's 2 hours. And it's 2 hours of information that can be found fairly easily online. Now, there are interviews and things, and it's packaged in a very good package. Like, it's entertaining. But there was a part of me that was like, well, if they made a movie out of this, surely there's got to be some groundbreaking, like, new stuff that hasn't really been picked up or talked about or anything like that. And that was not the case. Like, this is all stuff you can find out, but it's all presenting it in a pretty easy to put together package and a pretty clean package.
After seeing it, do you feel like we were robbed? Should we have gotten his take on the universe?
I think it would have been a better movie than what we got. Yeah. I do. It would have been a movie more connected to the video games. It would have been interesting. Like a lot of George Romero stuff, it would have had some interesting social commentary hidden in it through the characters. Apparently, this was one of his most like potentially violent and graphic films that he'd ever put together. But whether that was with the idea of scaling it back, I don't know. Yeah. I don't like the original Resident Evil movie, and I know there's a lot of people that do like it. Because anytime I mention that I don't like it, people are like, "Yeah, but what about that hallway scene?" And honestly, I think the hallway scene is what ruins the movie for me. Okay. So it's always weird to me that the scene that everybody goes, "Yeah, but what about this?" is to me the worst scene in the movie. Because for me, you go into a Resident Evil movie to see monsters and zombies, right? Like that's what you signed up for. And in that hallway scene, they kill 90% of the characters with a laser grid. And it's cool, right? Like, I get why people say it's cool. But as soon as they get to the other side, it would be like if you were watching a Star Trek episode and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see how all these red shirts are going to be killed. And then a laser grid took out 90% of the red shirts, and you've got Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and like one other red shirt. And you're like, well, I don't think zombies are going to eat anybody in this episode because there's only one red shirt left. So what zombie action are we going to see? They killed everybody. Yeah. And it made the rest of the movie incredibly uninteresting to me because that happens fairly early on. And I was like, well, everybody's safe till the end. And then I don't know, probably one or two people.
I think that whole series is bad, but come at me, I guess, internet. I think one's bad. Yeah. I think they're all bad. I think that they're almost nothing like the games. There's no real great connective tissue. They have little references here and there, but I mean, that grid scene could have been in any movie. It didn't have to be Resident Evil. It wasn't great.
Yeah, I don't like them. What they present of George A. Romero's certainly seemed more interesting and more faithful. Would that movie have been good? I don't know. That movie didn't get made. But I would have been more interested in seeing that movie than the movie we got. But it's, like I said, it's long. It starts as kind of a celebration of George Romero's work, then an introduction to what Resident Evil is, and then about an hour into it, it's finally like, okay, here's the movie, and then here's the movie they made, and then here's a little kind of loving tribute to George Romero, and all of it's pretty safe and pretty good. It's not gonna blow your mind, although it was kind of a reminder that George A. Romero did direct a Resident Evil 2 commercial that only aired in Japan.
Oh, weird. We could track that down, though, and see it, I guess, right on YouTube.
It's because the actor who played Leon Kennedy, I think it's Brad Renfro.
Oh, yeah. He died. He committed suicide or drug overdose or something, right? Wasn't that the deal?
He was not allowed to appear in that in America.
Oh.
So it was a trailer that could not be released in America because he was in it. But he was very big in Japan. And so they cast him as Leon. And I
thought it's because he died. He died in 2008 of a drug overdose. So I thought that was maybe why.
No.
Yeah.
It was a contractual thing. Like, he couldn't appear in it over here, so it was only in Japan. Like, I had forgotten that existed. Made me go watch that trailer. I was like, all right, cool. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it is cool to see. The cool thing about watching that trailer is you do see the loving connection to, like, oh, that looks like Leon, that looks like Claire, that looks like the Raccoon City Police Department. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. I had to pay for it to rent it, which I did because I was like, oh, this would be a cool thing to talk about on Core. Right now, it's not freely streaming anywhere.
It's on Prime for $4.99. Looks like it's not too bad.
Yeah. I just did a rental because I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch this again. But it's not the most exciting thing. It's all presented very much like you're playing Resident Evil. Most of the shots are like B-roll footage of like an old scary place and typewriter sounds and stuff like that. Like, there's not a lot of like sit down talking interviews. So, it's okay. I would look for it streaming, or if this super interests you, maybe give it a rental or something like that. But I found it interesting. I love Resident Evil, so I had a good time with it.
Cool. I like that you picked a thing like that. We should have more documentaries about games and then bring them up on the show, because I'm a big fan when they do that.
Yeah.
John, Beau. Hey, Beau.
Hi.
Speaking of somebody who's got too many games to play, sometimes you just got to go back to what you love, and you've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. So how's that going?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's not even about like protesting the games or avoiding them. It's just, I just felt, you want to feel like playing something, and yes, you have a professional obligation maybe to play some new games, but I don't know. I got lost in Heroes of the Storm big time this week. Mainly because I played a few games. Junkrat's a character I played at launch a whole bunch. I got to level 15 and then never really played it. And for some reason, it just felt really good to play him. And I wanted to like get better with him and like do crazy stuff where like I, hit the movement displacement bomb and then trap him in the trap and then have my whole team blow him up. Stuff like that, right? Like big plays. And I just got kind of hooked on playing Junkrat. So I think I played about 50 Junkrat games this past week.
Damn.
And
I used to love him. He was one of my favorite DPSs for a while, but it's been so long.
He's very good, but he's a little chaotic. That's why I don't think he's a big competitive pick necessarily, because of the
Yeah.
It's difficult to control sometimes what's going on with the bombs and stuff, and it can actually cause problems as well as advantages. But that's Junkrat for you, right?
So, that's his whole vibe. That's the whole thing with him. In fact, I remember when they announced him, I remember they leaned into that. They were like, yeah, he's a chaos monster, so that's how he'll feel,
Yeah, and he's a great Heroes of the Storm hero, and I played him. I played some of the other characters a little bit too, but it was mainly Junkrat, actually. I was kind of one-tricking him all week, so I played a lot of Heroes of the Storm, a game that I love forever.
I know.
That footage reminded me how much I liked pre-nerf Kel'Thuzad. Man, what a time he was when he first released. Yeah,
Kel'Thuzad is so insane doing some of his bullshit. It's so good.
I love that game too. I mean, obviously we have very direct connections to it, but I really want them to do something. They're not going to do anything. I've been to the offices.
I'm at a point where I stopped caring. I'm like, I like this game, and people are still playing it, so whatever. I don't care if it's not popular or not or whatever. It's really good.
I don't know why I care. I shouldn't care, but it just makes me mad.
Yeah, I wish I didn't care, but I care, and if I play it again, I get sad.
Yeah, I'll get mad if I play it, or I get sad. I love that you can play it and not worry about that, Beau. I admire that.
Yeah, I mean, the skill divide is definitely larger these days. Sometimes you're like, what is that guy doing?
Yeah.
But from that, it's 10, live bodies in a match, which is saying something. For an old game that everyone's pretty much written off, still has dedicated players whenever I come back to play it. And
you can queue in pretty quick. No big waits and stuff.
Yeah, less than a minute. I mean, a minute to two. Quick match has never gone more than 2 minutes unless it's like bad hours of the day. But no, there still always seems to be quick match. I haven't done ranked. Ranked, I imagine it's going to be a wait, especially in higher ranks. But
yeah, I'd be curious.
And there's still a small number of streamers on Twitch. There's still a tiny scene heroes on there, but people still play that game.
Yeah. Put it on Steam, Blizzard, cowards. Have new life.
Acknowledge its existence. Give it an office that isn't a janitor's closet.
Yeah, hire one other guy to work on it.
Yeah.
So you have two guys.
I mean, they probably could make. I don't know. They could do something with it.
Of course they could. Whatever. They just choose not.
They got to get all hands on deck for World of Warcraft because it's the only game that makes them Bobby money.
According to Schreier in that interview, it's like, I mean, it kind of confirmed what we all thought anyway, but it's just always about milking that cow. You got to milk that WoW cow. If you're not doing that, then you don't exist.
It's like they can make other games, but those other games will be second tier to the moneymaker. Like you're getting StarCraft, you're getting Diablo, and yes, they need to make money at those things, but you're getting those things because the WoW baby is well fed.
Yeah. So. They're games as a service company and have been since 2004.
Who knows if there'll be a WoW 2 or something to replace it, but I think the reason we saw all those cancellations of like their survival game and of the StarCraft shooter is just because they look at it and go, "This isn't going to make money."
Mm-hmm.
It'll make money, it'll make people happy, but it's not going to make the kind of money that we could put those developers on Warcraft and just do that.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
True.
It's not a bad thing. I've been playing a lot of WoW, so maybe they're just the WoW company at this point for now. So
yep. Awesome. What else you been up to?
After that, played Baldur's Gate 3. Multiplayer, just a small update for everyone. We are almost done. We have one more mission to confront to decide if we're going to confront the Emperor or not, and then do the epilogue, the final mission leading up to the final boss.
Are you concerned that Crofton's going to F up the final mission somehow? Are you worried about that?
I'm concerned they all will. We had such a comedy of errors this past week. Our barbarian, Pepperoni Pete, was like, "What's this illithid power do?" and knocked Crofton into a hole for instant death. Because you can use worms to get illithid powers, and one of them was to repulse in a 360 degree away from you, and he never pushed a button the whole time we've played. So he's like, "I'll use this," and killed his teammate.
Great.
I don't think we talked about this, but Mike, our wizard, we said there was like a tailor that was being targeted by the murder cult, and we went in to save them, but he cast a lightning bolt without such care that he killed the guy we were trying to save.
Ooh.
And so when we went to the murder cult, they were like, "Prove to us you've killed people." And then they showed the guy that he accidentally killed in the lightning thing. And we were like, "Is this guy good enough?" They're like, "Yes, you've made Ball very happy."
Wow.
But it wasn't an intentional murder, but he's so irresponsible with magic that it was funny that it came up in the story, his mistake. So
put that up on the board of things that make that game great.
I need to go back and do a supercut of just like every derp and error and frustrating argument we got into, and just make like a collage, a montage.
That'd be amazing.
Skip all it might take a bit of work, but I really think there's some gold in there, or at least you'll watch it and get angry. Like, these guys suck at the game so bad.
You should have it end though with Crofton doing this in Helldivers with his tumble over thing. You should have it end like that.
Oh yeah.
Even though it's a completely different game, you got to cap everything.
I trolled him this week because these guys, okay, just to give context about like how non-gamery they are, they didn't know what tier lists were until this week. Because on Mobalytics, they had a tier list of classes, and it showed the rogue as by itself as a C tier list, which is what Crofton's class is. And so I shared, I'm like, "Look at this tier list, Crofton. You picked the shittiest class in the game. Congrats."
Nice.
And they were like, "What's a tier list? And what's an S rank?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I hate you guys so much."
You're such game dad for them, you know.
You're such noobs. Oh my god. Anyways,
I love it. You're raising them right, though. I appreciate the hard work you're putting in.
Exactly. I am video game dad to these noobs. For sure.
That's awesome.
But so it's almost done. Almost a year and a half of playing this freaking game.
Yeah, almost done.
Can't wait to play something else. All right. So next up, we have some WoW Core Guild. I got some Core Guild stuff because I raided with Team Fusion, and they were commenting that when we got the heroic kill last week, all we did was talk about ours, even though Team Fusion also scored the heroic kill.
Yeah, but we were first. Is the point?
I know, but we still could have said something, and I didn't have a good response. I mean, it's like, fair enough.
Yeah, we should say something. Who cares who's second?
It's the Core Guild. It's not the Beau and Scott.
No, they're right. Guild. I feel a little bad about it too.
And it's good because there's a lot of people playing. So if you want into the guild, we're fielding 4 raid teams currently. Mm-hmm. So there's plenty of room for people. So Core Within, that's us. We got the heroic kill. So did Team Fusion. So did Shrimp Shack. And so did whatever the 4th one's called. They don't. I don't know why the other 2 don't have their own channels. I can't find their names. So
they might have their own servers or something, but I can't remember their names either. Yeah.
So if there's going to be 4 raid teams, probably, I don't know. I just need to find out who they are. I don't know who the 4th team is.
Take it from the team that beat Fusion by a day or whatever. That you should be on our Discord if you're not already. Maybe you'd win more. Maybe you'd be first more. Maybe when the goblin thing comes, you guys could be first this time. Maybe then.
Yeah, and then I'll be saying to Beau and Scott, who cares you were second?
There will be a competition in season 2 within the guild to, core first the Undermine raid. So, and we have a dedicated Core Guild Discord now. So if you're not aware of that, please ask Strav and Tanner for an invite or somebody to get in there.
There's lots of links to it in the existing Discord, but if you're confused at all, just reach out to one of us. We'll hook you up. No problem.
So, WoW's as good as it's ever been, and Midnight's coming, and we're all excited for that stuff. So
hell yeah. I'm very excited. So watch for that.
Speaking of WoW, I have been away from Season of Discovery for quite some time, but there's been finally some exciting news. Is that a new dungeon and a new raid is coming. We got Karazhan Crypts and Scarlet Enclave, and this is brand new classic content. Arguably, it's taken them freaking long enough because this was the whole draw of like Classic Plus, right? Season of Discovery. We're gonna put new content. It's like, holy shit, you guys! It's like a year and a half later, and finally getting in-game max level new content. It's not that they didn't do it. It's just that once Phase 4 hits, it's all the same crap. And I'm not that excited about Molten Core, but new mechanics, that doesn't sound enticing to me at all.
But brand new stuff, that sounds fun, right?
But brand new stuff sounds fun. So I got in there, leveled my warrior to 51, and they have a level like experience boost, right? You get 100 plus 150% experience boost on everything. So it's faster. WoW Classic's always like, oh, it's such a slog. It's faster. And all the runes now that you have to go out in the world and get, you don't need to go out in the world. There's just a vendor now in the city. You can just buy them all for 1 copper. Oh. So now if you ever wanted to dip your toe in and see all the cool stuff for the class you like to play, you can just do it easily at a vendor because that whole phase is over, which is appealing, right? Sure. It's like maybe you just want to check it out. It's as easy as ever to check it out and shit.
Yeah.
That being said, our core guild is not active. I was the only one online when I logged in. But we have a lot of people in retail who played with us, who were in the guild, who migrated over with me to retail and are doing the retail thing. Yeah. So, if I'm not 100% committed yet to it, but I think I would like to see the new content. So maybe I think we should make a SOD channel in our core guild for people interested in that stuff, because I've been hosting it on my own Discord, but it's dead because nobody's doing it now. So
yeah, totally. I don't see why we shouldn't do that. That makes perfect sense.
SOD, I'm interested in the new raids. The new content's fun, and I think I might want to check it out. So
nice.
There's that.
Nice.
All right, last game I played, Marvel Rivals. I just played some, so there you go.
Wait,
I don't have much to say about it, but I logged in and played it.
What so no big hot takeaways? No, like, oh, that game is really great.
No, apparently the 2 heroes I like to play were bottom tier list, Storm and Black Widow. However, there was a patch where Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman were added, and there's balancing, and apparently Storm right now is broken, so I should get in there and try to play Storm before she gets fixed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like playing Black Widow because I like sniper characters.
You're a sniper guy, yeah. I mean, she is pretty. I mean, she basically is.
I mean, she super sucks. She doesn't have anything special. She's got a gun, and then she has some melee attacks.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot going on. That's true. Her the stuff that Widowmaker has gone to other character types.
Yeah, she doesn't have like the trap and the grappling hook. She sprints and then can jump super high, and then you can switch to melee weapons, so you just do melee attacks, and then you can do a kick. And if you kick, if you kick someone, then you can kick again after a short window. Like, it's really boring shit, like, honestly. But it's just, there's a lot of flying characters in this game. So part of the thing about sniping is like, oh, there's cover and it's hard to find people. And the type of flying they do is floaty. Like Farah and like Mercy, they fly around. They're pretty challenging to headshot while they're in the air. Iron Man just like floats in the spot. Like as soon as someone picks Iron Man, I'm like, I'm taking Black Widow because he's just like standing there derping around. It's like he's the easiest headshot in the universe to get. The thing is, though, her gun doesn't do a ton of damage. Like in Overwatch, you headshot someone, they're pretty much dead. In this game, you kind of got to headshot them 3 times, which is annoying. But
it is annoying.
It is what it is. Yeah.
So,
but somebody will soften them up for you. Then you get that last hit, and it feels good.
So, do you? What was I going to say? I had a thing I was going to ask about her specifically, and I forgot what it was. Well, anyway, the game seems, although there was some rumor going around that people
she might be voiced by Jaina. What's her?
Laura Bailey.
Oh, Laura Bailey.
Yeah, Laura Bailey.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'd heard somewhere that the game was putting people in bot matches without any warning.
It's in the news. I put it in the news. We could talk about it now.
Let's talk about it real quick. What's the deal there?
Well, I mean, there's a PC Gamer article saying that some people on Reddit have discovered that, like, if you lose too many matches, you get thrown into a bot match, which is. But it doesn't tell you. It fakes the bot thing. It's something I really hate, and it's like it seems to me it's more of an Eastern thing to expect from Eastern games and mobile games.
NetEase loves it
because like it would be controversy if Overwatch did that, like for sure, or like Heroes or lots of other games because it's 10 real players or don't put me in a match. It's patronizing.
Here's my other hot take for the show. Get ready. I think that's cool.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I think you know what? Yeah. Somebody's clearly having a hard time. They're struggling. Let's do the. You remember here, like all good things, it comes down to Space Jam. You remember in Space Jam where the Toon Squad was really down on their luck?
Sure.
They're like, we can't beat the Monstars. They're Monstars. They got the skills of Charles Barkley. What are we going to do against that? And then Bugs Bunny was like, hey, we got Michael Jordan's secret stuff. And then he gave it to everybody, and all of a sudden they felt inspired that they could do good. Like,
I'm not
playing against bots. It's your secret sauce. It's just water. It's just water. But now you feel empowered to get out there and try harder and discover the power that was within you all along.
Wow.
If they were labeled as bots, that would be fine. It's the lying. It's the oh, I've got a victory, I'm so good. But meanwhile, you've been.
If he had given the Toon Squad water, they wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, but if you said, well, see, that's different though. I know what you're saying. I don't want to be
lied to if I'm against bots that are like there to serve my sense of ego. Like I think that in a PvP game, like you have to earn.
Well, if your ego is so sensitive, maybe you should be good enough to not lose enough to be in a bot match. You friggin' scrub.
Well, he's not. He's not.
You
bot
should
matches.
know. It's. You should be told. It's like it's the false sense of security or grandeur you get from like I won that match. I'm pretty good, and then you get thrown in with real players and get owned. And it's like you're not going to learn if you're going to learn. You know that the games you win are only games you win because they've they've softened everything for you. It's patronizing.
Yeah, I don't like being lied to either. I totally get that point. John's right in a movie context.
No, it's true in video games too.
Yeah, but
John, so good at Rivals, guys.
All John has described as a placebo effect. That's what it is, placebo effect. The problem is with placebo effects is everybody in a double-blind study knows that placebos might be what they got and not the real medication. That's transparency. So you at least know. You don't know if you did or didn't, but at least you know the possibility is that 50% of you will and 50% won't. In this scenario Beau's describing, nobody even knew it was a thing possible that you would be put down with some bots to help you feel better.
Here's what I think. So the one thing that I don't like about it is when you know that it's a possibility that you're playing with bots and they're hiding it. It then leads to the comments where anything you do in the game is null and void because everybody just assumes you were up against bots. But if they only do it if you're losing a lot, then when you lose a lot and then you win, then you go, oh, that might have been bots. If you're winning all day, you weren't winning against bots. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
Feel good about yourself.
Well,
I just don't know, like, because they can flip that switch if player population gets low and they want to give you a game immediately. I mean, who knows? Like, when you start lying about one little thing, you start lying about everything. And I really hate game developer. If they're going to be transparent about it, that's one thing. But I don't like when they sit in the boardroom and say, like, we need to maximize engagement. People need to feel good so they keep playing. So let's lie to them, because that's a cool way to build a gaming community.
I don't know. I guess I'm just not so sensitive that I have to know that I'm beating other people. Like, I can beat a computer and feel okay about it.
I think John should be the first American-born NetEase CEO. When whoever's there now.
Again,
let me spin this for you. Get good.
It's the lying about the bots.
Yeah, but that's the point.
They said you lost 2 matches and now you're in a bot match. I mean, they don't do that because people will get insulted and quit their game and complain about it online. That's why they lie about it. But the whole point of building a gaming community is not to build it on a foundation of bullshit. So,
Yeah, but I think CEO John at NetEase and his new push at the company of get good, noob, I think is a strong new world. We should go for it.
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna get a nice salary.
Yep.
Also, I think Marvel Rivals seems to be doing fine in spite of this, so something's working right.
Yeah, it seems to be okay.
PvP games do great because of it. I mean, that's why they do it. But it's I do not approve. I think it's. Do
we know how the game's doing population wise in general? It's doing okay, isn't it? I see people still playing it on my friends list and stuff all the time. I haven't played it, but
yeah, it's I don't know if it's breaking records, but it is like healthily played. Like, it's a top Steam game. The hype is still super strong for this game. So.
It's good, I guess.
But I don't think they're doing it from a faking logins thing. I think a lot of people are playing the game. I just think it's patronizing to put bots in a match and not label them bots. Like,
Marvel Rivals is currently number 3 on the top game charts on Steam, and it's available on other platforms as well.
I'm a little surprised that high. I don't know why I thought it'd be lower, but that's great.
Yeah, it's 1 below Dota 2, 2 below Counter-Strike, and it's above Path of Exile 2 right now. So
people are liking it.
Doing pretty good.
I think decisions like that. I mean, I guess there are a lot of people who don't care, like, because Fortnite. I think Fortnite does that, and that's still.
I suspect they do too, because if I haven't played Fortnite in a while and I come back to it, I will get a victory royale.
But that's like a reason why I will never play a game like Fortnite. When I realize that they're liars, like, I don't want to. It really turns me off to wanting to play their game that way. So
yeah, that's true. But you know what I like more than that?
What?
Lies.
Winning.
Win at all costs, Beau. Win at all costs. Look, buy.
Well, I do care. Like, that's, I guess what I'm saying is, like, I care. Like, if I'm beating somebody, I want to know that I'm beating a human. Like, a bot can be programmed to lose, and I don't feel a sense of accomplishment from it.
I agree with you 100%. And
Beau only cares if the violence is against the
I agree with Beau. For the record, I agree with Beau, but I really like John's toxic PvP persona that he sometimes puts on.
He's being what's his face, Joey Pants from Matrix. He's like, the steak tastes good.
Yeah, I like the steak. You know what? That's exactly what this is. I couldn't think of it.
I learned to cook steak because I thought that steak in the Matrix looked really yummy.
It does look yummy. Like, there's universal agreement that it looks yummy, but it's a bot.
It's
AI.
I love it. John would stay in the Matrix. He would do it.
Yeah, it seems sucky in the real world. Bunch of robots tried to make my life better. Great.
Yeah.
Windmage is it's not really about ego. It's about being lied to. Like, if you label it as a bot, it's fine. I may not play your game and I might not like it. But what I hate is Pokemon Unite did this, right?
I hated that.
Fun game, great game, but all of a sudden you're like, what is going on? Like, you're wasting my time. I'm here to play other humans in this game, not robots.
I also don't like that the very first game that you play in most of those games is against bots, but they don't tell you that. And so you win like 2-3 in a row and you're like, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
And then real people show up and you're like, these usernames look more random and also foreign, and also these aren't the same as like Billy Bob 21.
And all of a sudden I'm bad at the game.
And suddenly I'm terrible. That sucks. That sucks. For all
and then
both
so you
ends of
lose
it.
a few matches, then they throw you back with the bots, and then you're like, oh no, I just had a few bad matches. I'm actually pretty good at the game.
Yeah, tell me that I'm in there,
like,
and then I'll treat it like, okay, well, if I can beat these freaking bots, maybe I can take on humans. I can handle the truth. Just tell me the truth, NetEase.
It's just it's the problem with PvP games. Like how, unless you're a cultural phenomenon like League of Legends, how do you attract a large player base of people who want to play your game when you get in there and lose 5 games in a row and you're like, I don't play games to like try to learn and get good and practice. Like that's a subsection of gamers people who compete, who lose and then get determined to play better. That's not everybody's, that's like what 10 to 20% of people who play a game like that lose and get determined to play better. Most people just want to feel good and have a good time playing their game. But it undermines the spirit of competition to not be labeling things as, you know what I mean? It's this whole complicated mess that you just can't have your cake and eat it too at the end of the day.
Yep.
And so I take it as a sign that your ethics as a company sucks. The underpinning of your company sucks if you're making games to make people feel good. For me, that's an avoid. I want to feel like bad, but that I have a pathway to skill development that I can practice and get better at. And I think both answers are probably fine depending on what audience you are. I just wish they would be transparent about it. And
I think people should listen to me because I am an undefeated Marvel Rivals player. And
that's true. That is true. You're undefeated, and I am very defeated. So, yeah.
I'm pretty defeated as well in that game. All right. Well, that's all well and good, but we do need to take a pee break. When we come back, Dear Martha, some other quick news notes, and a couple texts and emails. Some fun stuff coming up. So don't leave. In fact, do the opposite. Stay there or come right back. One way or the other. We'll be right back. There we go. Okay, we're back from the break. Oh, I forgot to do a Dear Martha thing. Well, that's great when you find that on your last second trying to think of something.
Make something up real quick.
All right. Here we go. Dear Martha, you're writing home to inform
video games.
You're gonna write home and tell her all about the.
I like Beau's. I think we should go with Beau's.
Okay, let's do it. You're cheating at video games, and you're telling her all about why that's you like that, why you're into it, or whatever you want, whatever take you have.
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Let's start it. Whoops, shit, I'm in all the wrong places. 1 second. Okay, here. Maybe we go. Hold on. Why isn't that working? Scott, get it together, buddy. There we go. 3, 2, 1.
My dearest Martha, your pro gamer here, talking to you again via letter. I know you feel very special getting a letter from me. After all, I am a very busy, very important video game champion. And Martha, let me tell you, I have mastered yet another video game. Put another one in my repertoire because, Martha, I am now a grade A Super Mario Brothers speedrunner. That's right, I can run that tiny man faster than anybody else, and I know all the levels, Martha. As you know, Mario is a game where you play as Bowser. And you have to rescue a bunch of mushrooms from a dinosaur. And I'm quite skilled at this, Martha, whether it's stage 1-1, where I'm jumping on mushrooms to collect stars so that I can shoot fire out of my fingertips. Every stage ends with 15 fireworks. That's how fast I am, Martha. Every stage. Sometimes I go underground, and the whole stage turns a bluish color, I think. And I'm told that there's a warp, which I've told myself because I found it on my own. But I can run it even without warps, Martha. For example, there's stage 3-4, where you are in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And you ride on the Rainbow Road, which I'm definitely the fastest at. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with the technical details, Martha. The point is that me, Mario Bowser, defeats King Koopa in the end, and I save my brother Luigi while he sings about peaches. Yours in this life and the next.
Yeah.
E. Musk.
I was wondering if you're going to go there.
We're going to go with Kim Hamburger or something like that.
Kim Hamburger. Zoe Hamburger.
Zoe Hamburger.
Or was it Worm Person Jim? I can never remember. All right. Well done. That was great. Especially.
I'm sorry to everybody who just had to listen to me accurately describe Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. You did a great job.
You nailed it. Yeah,
was 3-4 the 3-4 warp is that correct? That didn't sound right.
No.
Okay.
None of that.
No, none of it was correct.
None of it was good. None of it was right.
There's going to be 100 React videos on YouTube soon debunking Core.
Sweet.
They don't even play real games.
Fireworks aren't tied to how fast you do it. It's tied to the number at the end of the countdown clock. And
I don't
think this person's played Mario Brothers.
Oh. That music means it's time for us to talk about the rest of the news. There's some quick ones in here. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is finally done. 3-year story wrapped up in just under a year. Done. Out.
Yeah. And hey, spoilers for the game, but who cares? Honestly, Arkham Batman is alive and well.
Yeah. Yeah. And also you can go play all those Batman games and be reminded of how awesome they are. Beau's VR game, see how awesome Batman is.
Arkham Shadows good.
Yeah.
And seeing as everybody said that the only reason people didn't play this very good game was because they killed off Batman. Now he's alive and well at the end.
He's good.
And we can all play it. And I'm sure everyone's going to change their mind about this.
Oh, I'm sure that'll fix everything. The sales are going to be through the roof.
Yeah, it's going to, because that's all it was. It was just internet hate.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with the quality of the video game. And now that Batman's alive and well, you know, we can all play the game and like it.
Yep. It's great news coming out of John Jagger today. PGA Tour 25-25 or 2K25.
25-25.
This is the PGA game, the golf game, and we don't really care that much about kind of slow-moving sports games here on the show. However, I thought this was funny because it's coming out very soon, and you can, if you pre-order, you can unlock Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore.
It's so funny to me that they chose Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, and not Gilmore or Happy Gilmore or
I mean, the art on this looks hilarious too. Like, what happened?
Like,
yeah,
it's funny to me because it's like they acknowledge, they're like, look, we're not gonna let you play as an exciting character.
Yeah, you're just gonna play a shooter, the villain
you're gonna
from Happy
play
Gilmore.
Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, he's the jerk from the movie, as you may be aware. Oh, there's a bunch of alternate covers with different people on them. Interesting. I mean, for the record, I really like the 2K golf games, the PGA games. They're very good. I'll probably grab this at some point when it's not $70. But Talia's right. This is a Shanna fan game for sure. He'll play anything with 2K in front of it.
I think this is a fine. I think this is a fine pre-order bonus. I think it's a fun one. I do like when sports games lean into the sillier side, you know, whether that's, you know, the baseball games going with more arcade modes, trying to like get the people that think baseball games peaked at Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball.
It is a good game, but
you know, this, I mean, it did, but I think this is a good way to get people on board with it. So I think it's a stupid pre-order, but it's funny. And
yeah.
It gets you the headlines, right?
Yep, it sure does. So Gavin, what is it? Gavin, I've already forgotten his name. Shooter McGavin. Gavin McShooter. What's wrong with me? Bonfire Studios. Beau put this in. I was excited to see this. Finally announcing its first game, Arcarian. Sign-ups and play test. PvP shooter combining multiple genres. Really all we know. There's like a little splash page thing for it. Let's see, there it is.
A PvP shooter
coming from a Blizzard Splinter group that I thought we would have heard a lot more from by now, and now we're just finally getting their first game.
Yeah, it's been almost a decade.
Yeah,
close to it.
That's just Pardo bankrolling I don't know. How is that even a company? How do you do that?
It's possible they're doing contract work to keep income rolling in or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. We don't know.
The rumors about how hard he is to work with maybe that was part.
He didn't come out looking great in the Play Nice book, I guess we'll say.
He did not.
But sometimes,
and I know some
things
stories,
bring out the worst in us, and maybe people can come back, right? Like clearly, in the Blizzard scheme of things, they were saying he had a bit of an attitude, and work wasn't getting done, and that's just what was in the book, alleged, I guess.
Yeah.
But, he left, started a company, and, that's sometimes what people do. It's like they outgrow where they are, and maybe there's something to it. Sorry, the cat's meowing like crazy.
I just don't know how...
He's currently being fed. But, maybe like this is maybe something good is coming out of this, and, whatever. It's a new leaf, right? We've just been waiting to see what's going on with this studio because we've all been aware of it for a very long time. And
this picture is the team. This is the team right now, or as of 2024. I guess I don't know when this was, but they had a meeting.
You know what that picture looks like? That picture looks like something you would find in a survival horror game.
And go, oh no! I see the face of Redfield's cousin.
And on the back it would say the safe password is 9924.
You're not wrong. But also,
doesn't it look like it?
No, it totally does.
Like there'd be a circle around someone's head for some reason.
Totally does. What it tells me though is that you must have a lot of money because
it's a big team. This isn't a
huge
small,
team.
Team. And there's a few faces I recognize from other.
There's Morgan Day,
other Blizzard expats in there. So
can I ask the unpopularly skeptical question and say, is this a hero shooter?
We don't know.
We don't know. All they've said is it's a blending of genres, so it's hard to say. Is it an FPS? Is it an ARPG? Like we just don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna bet money it's hero shooter adjacent. I'll bet you anything. It's kind of like that, John.
Well,
I mean, it could be anything, but I think I'll bet you money it's that because they think the money.
We can have Beau test and find out that if he loses too many matches, if he gets put with bots, then we can just determine if it's garbage.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe they'll tell you because Pardo. Maybe he'll tell you. I don't know. Maybe he's.
I don't know, but I'm sure we'll hear up soon. So there's a playtest you can sign up for. That's about all there is to know.
And it's called Harkonnen. No, sorry, Arcarion. Arcaron. I don't know if I like the name. I'll just put it out there. You can change my mind, and also game names sometimes are stupid, and then they become synonymous with quality, and then we don't care. So that may happen too. But right now, I don't like that name. I'm just going to put it out. Come at me, bro. All right, somebody ported Doom to run inside a PDF. You might think this sounds crazy because for a long time, Doom was like the standard of like, hey, if you can figure out a way to make it run Doom, like you get a John Deere tractor to run Doom, that was cool, or whatever. They've done it. They pulled it off. Let's see if I can find it. He put this project up on Blue Sky, I believe. Yeah, there it is. And you can see video go of it actually working. It's a launchable PDF, just a document. PDF you get attached to your email. And it's got all your controls, up, down.
Yeah, I'm playing it right now. I don't know why I picked Hurt Me Plenty for a PDF version of this game.
That's a mistake. Terrible mistake. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
But it plays Doom. And how it does it, I don't fully understand. They get into it a little bit, but it's actually kind of awesome, if I'm honest. I think this shit is great. That somebody even took the time to even care.
Oh, okay, we got keyboard controls going. Ooh, I type it when I use the keyboard controls. That's fantastic.
If it only works in Chrome, that's a little disappointing because I'd like to be able to just launch a PDF.
There is a lag on this.
Yeah, the lag's pretty bad in some cases.
It doesn't run Doom well, but it does run Doom.
There are parts in even this video demo I'm showing where it gets way slow. So
I can't get through the door.
It's pretty wild. Go get the keys, John. Get the blue key. Oh, wait, it's black and white.
I can't get up the hill.
You won't know what blue is in the world of non-color. Seems to get worse. This is
wild.
It's pretty crazy, though, right? That you can even do it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, good for them. It continues to be, the joke is Skyrim's on everything, but really Doom is what's keeping it alive.
Yeah. Some developer in this comment thread said, he says, PDF supports JavaScript is the kind of sentence that makes me want to throw all my tech in a well and go live in a cave. That's great. Speaking of which, my daughter Carter started teaching herself Godot. Beau, thought of you while she was doing that.
Oh, nice. That's a good move.
She really likes it. I keep telling her the best way for her to make her mark in the games industry is not wait for some big AAA to hire her, but to make an awesome indie game and then grow it. And I still think that. So
I think so too. There's definitely some examples of Godot games out there, and even still, if you're building up your skills and want to keep them sharp, but Godot's place to be right now.
It's pretty awesome.
Without having to.
Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe.
Let's do it.
I had an epiphany this week. I was reading an interview with Rod Ferguson where he was like, for this new upcoming season, he was like, we thought about it and we were like, what if we progress the main Diablo story forward in each season? And I was like, Jesus, you think? And I was like, maybe I can do this. If that's something that the Diablo 4 team can come to this many seasons in and an expansion later, maybe I do possess the skills to do this.
You could run an entire 250-person team making Diablo.
Maybe I could.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could, but now I believe I can.
Just imagine.
You have been playing and talking games for a large majority of your life. I'd be willing to bet there's a lot you could do.
Oh, hell yeah.
It is hard and takes time. I mean, to me, the biggest bottleneck is like art.
Yeah,
draw for shit.
And to me, the art is not the bottleneck; it's the rest of it.
Well, that's why we need to just
do it together. Put our heads together. Yeah. 3 hosts on the show.
Maybe we make a dev team and get to work. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it. Core Games.
Core is suspended temporarily. It's going to be only an hour-long show because we got to spend the other 4 hours doing game dev.
That's right. See you guys. That's an 8-hour day.
I think the toughest thing when I think about it is just like the game scope.
Yeah.
Like I want to be all in on something, but it has to be achievable. You can't make an MMO. You can't make.
Yeah, you get feature creep.
Like I don't know what it's like. That's where like I'm perpetually stuck. Like I can dink around in it till the cows come home. I don't want to make a like run video game. It's funny, but it was a funny thing to do. But I'm not interested in the full game like that. But it's like you want to draw or make something that you're passionate about. But it's like
but you got to.
If you're actually going to take it to market, if you're going to get it from 0 to 100 and actually do the thing. It needs to be achievable. It needs to be something that's like within grasp, like a side scroller, probably. Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
And you have to. You just have to have some sense of scope and how far you want to go with it. And then
lots of examples of it, like Loop Hero, very basic, right?
Dude, Loop Hero is awesome, and Loop Hero was made in, I think Game Maker or something shitty. Not shitty, but something easy.
But something that it's not Unreal Engine latest. You don't need that stuff. You just need to make something fun. Baldur is another great example, right? It's one guy made it and was passionate about the game that he made. I listened to a whole 2-hour conversation with the guy, and it is very impressive what he did. I know I'm famously not liking that game, but I am an admirer of what he created.
Yeah,
and
guy went from
indie development in general.
Yeah, he went from a fun idea to freaking mega millionaire in like no time flat. Yeah. And he doesn't like any of the attention. That's my favorite thing about him. I love that. Right. Just be a VTuber. Just hide your face. It's fine. We're into it.
Yeah. He just wanted to make a game, and that's what I mean. The passion was already there to make it. Had it not been successful, I don't think he would have regretted his time making it. Like he just wanted to make the game. So that's the kind of passion I want to feel. It's just I haven't been able to strike. I've had plenty of ideas, and I go, that's complex. Yeah. Like I want to make my own version of PlanetSide. Nope.
I do want my first video game to be Lake Run.
Oh,
you do?
Well, because that was the joke back in the day, right? Was Beau called his game Super Lake Run, and I said I want to make a game before him and just call it Lake Run.
8-bit.
The prequel.
Yeah, the prequel to it, and I still want to do it because I have a whole plan of a horror game about pooping in a lake.
You have to do it as an 8-bit game, though, so that Beau can go 16.
It was not 8-bit. It was going to be a text adventure, Scott. It was not. I was not aiming for 8-bit.
We're going all the way back. All right, so we're going like 82 or something like that. John's going to start small. Beau, take it 8-bit. Then we'll talk. Then we'll see where we go from there.
I mean, it's animation. That's
then right? Lake Run 64.
I can help you with animation. I can do that. Yeah. I can do a bunch of that stuff.
You want to draw us without pants on?
I'll be the art director. John will be game director. Beau will be game director or game direction and
I'll tell you what I have in hand.
Technical.
I can do programming. I can do programming. I can do music and sound. And
Hell yeah.
Even design, even like actual design. I'm sure John probably can too, actually. But those are areas
those are your strengths. Yeah, I'm telling you, we have what we need. We have what we need to make something dumb and small. We absolutely do. And then we could
probably
build
do writing, depending on how much there probably wouldn't need to be. But down in the design vertical, I'm sure John can do the writing.
John's a great writer.
He wrote a rap. People are like, John's a good writer. I saw that float by in chat. I didn't miss that. He wrote a rap in like 2 hours.
He's a great writer. He's actually you said something funny this week. We were having a conversation on Blue Sky about I don't like AI taking the fun parts away, and one of them was some CEO claiming that musicians don't like making music anyway, so this is good that we're coming to make music. And I got irritated. It's the worst shit take ever. And John piped in and says, I like to write, but the worst part of writing is writing, and that's the best part.
The agony is the point.
Yeah, the agony.
That's the skill.
Yeah, that's the point.
Skill. If you like music, but you don't like performing or composing or putting it together, whatever you do, if you don't like the construction of it, then you like listening to music.
Yeah.
You're not a musician, you're somebody who listens to music, and that's exactly fine. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-mm. But if you like reading books, but you don't want to apply the skill to create one, then you just are a book reader. And there's nothing wrong with being a book reader. But don't be like, I'm not.
Nobody likes to make them.
I'd be an author if it wasn't for the writing.
Yeah, if it wasn't for all this writing, I would love to do it. It's like, shut up. Yeah. That guy sucks. Yeah. Really, it got under my skin, that particular one.
It's supposed to be painful. It's giving birth to something that no one may even give a shit about. And, but it's a journey you would undertake.
Exactly.
You can't do it. Can't do it for the result.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right. And if it was hard, that's why you're right with the first one.
That's why we're trying to get computers.
Well, it's just like there's so many things that are hard in this world. Why is it art?
It shouldn't be.
You know what I mean?
It's just because it's flashy and in your face. We're going to get past
pretty
this.
Hard. The environment, big challenge. Efficient justice system, all big challenges, tons of different things. Manufacturing, it's like
the flash in the pan part of it is dying, and we are going to get to the nitty gritty and rubber meat in the road on real issues with this AI stuff, which I am a big believer in. But quit trying to act like what the real use case is. People going, draw me a picture of a big fat guy with a chicken in his mouth. That's not interesting. That doesn't help anybody, and it just wastes cycles. And it all looks like shit is the other thing. It all looks like garbage. So focus on stuff like we don't want to do as humans, so we can focus on the creative and the good and the happy, and then go fix real issues that we have.
I think the same argument about PvP in esports being labeled as bots.
Yeah.
When a work of art is made by a bot, you will hate it, even if it has merit, because it was just not what you come to art
even
for.
If it moves like a character, shoots like a character, it's not. And it's therefore trash.
And it will be off. And it will be off. It won't be something you can relate to as another human. That's the whole thing about art. I
don't know what's wrong with me or why. I guess I'm just hypersensitive to it. But even the most realistic photography but generative AI photography that nobody actually took the photo, I can just tell immediately. I can tell. It's never hard for me. I never get tricked. I never see something across my feed where I don't immediately recognize it for what it is. And it doesn't have to have people with 10 fingers. I just know it when I see it.
Maybe you can be, that's how you should make money. They should hire you to be the litmus test for when it gets really good.
Yeah, but then they're going to send me like weird porn and things and say, is this real?
I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying like the companies pushing the technology.
Gotcha.
Like official stuff. Not hey everybody, send Scott your AI generated and see if you can trick him.
Yeah. Because I assume there's some dark shit going on in that corner of the web. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Yes.
But I have to assume things are getting real weird in there. I have to assume. And I don't just mean like, that guy's got a penis for a nose. I mean like way, way worse than that. Anyway, we won't get into that anymore. Let's get moving on here.
Now that everybody feels good about things.
Yeah, now that we're all feeling happy and healthy inside, let's do this.
That's a good question.
Let's get into this email we got from Joe, who asked, on the subject of VR, is there a list somewhere with Beau's approved VR titles? I just got a Quest 3 and I don't know what to get. Beau, have you thought about putting together any kind of little compendium?
I get this a lot. We should make like a core list or put it somewhere
we could.
where it'll get seen. I could put it on beauschwartz.com.
Just put it on the core page. Easy to put up there. Just have to know what your list is. And
I'd have to maybe think about it a bit more. One of the troubles, and I'm a bit at fault here for not highlighting this part enough, is that it's fun to get a VR headset, but there's a lot of experimentation involved in.
Yeah.
The interesting games are not cheap. That's really what's been keeping me out of VR. It's just like, I'm not going to blow $40. It's not like indie games where it's like, oh, $8, let me try this game. It's like $40 to $60 a pop for the interesting ones. And it's like, I don't want to try these for 2 hours and, blow $600 a month on all the new shit. Like it can be kind of expensive.
Mm-hmm.
As a new VR user, though, there are some must-play titles. I'll just tell them to you here, and maybe someone can make a list for me and send it to Scott or Core or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But number one is Half-Life Alyx. Signs are pointing to more Half-Life. We don't know if it's flat screen or VR sequel, even though the end of this game is a cliffhanger, a good one. But Half-Life Alyx is still your number one must-play. You'll need to run it on your PC. It's not native to your headset, but it is absolutely worth playing 1,000%. Like there's one game you should play. It is Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah.
Up there, I really like Batman VR Arkham Shadow. I think it's very awesome what they've done. That's up there. You should also try VR Chat, not the one on your headset, but on the one on Steam. Even if you just play it for 2 hours just to get in there and play around, it is a good experience. So you should play that.
Depends on what room you're in. Like if you're in certain, you know what? If you do the Quest version, it's all free, but the Quest version of VR.
Quest is all kids because they don't have Steam accounts, so don't go to Quest.
Well, don't do that either. But yeah,
it's all kids. My experience on Quest VR only version of VR Chat, it's all kids.
Yeah, either one's bad.
You'll find adults in VR Chat, and it's like, okay, don't go to the brothel. There is a brothel. Like, don't go to the brothel room, but go to McDonald's and just be in there for 20 minutes. Just get an avatar, have fun with it, and decide if you like it or not. It's free, so it's just 20 minutes, just something to do with your cool headset.
No.
And it's as popular as it's ever been. That's reached peak record player counts in the past month. Let me see what else is there. Another big one that people really like. It's not one I personally play, but people love Beat Saber. So. Go ahead and give Beat Saber a try. It's popular for a reason.
I like Beat Saber. Yeah, it's good.
Batman is like Beat Saber, but for beating up people without music. But it's the same kind of thing where the way you punch people, you just got to do what the inputs say. It's very fun, but it's gamified. But Beat Saber is like something people really enjoy and dig. The rest is going to depend on like your taste. I think you would do yourself a disservice not to play a racing game of some kind in VR. The racing game I tried was I can't remember what it's called. The one I liked was Dirt. I think it's Dirt, right?
Dirt rules.
It's a European sort of deal. That is not available on the Meta. You have to hook it up to your Steam account PC, but it was very good. It's sort of a port, but there are lots of racing games. Just play any popular racing game.
Yeah, I think Dirt
Rally 2.0 for me.
That's what it is. Dirt Rally 2.0 and 1.0, I think both have VR modes. They're very good.
Yeah.
Those games.
Another boss-ass game that's a bit hard to play because you're going to be playing with the controller on Steam. It's a bit dated, but Star Wars Squadrons is a phenomenal VR game. And it's actually a flat-screen game that has VR support.
Yeah.
And it is amazing. Again, as a cockpit flying around game, it has amazing arcade action, and you feel like you're in the ships and stuff. It's super cool.
Yeah.
So that's on the list as well.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, Asgard's Wrath is pretty good. I'm just was not that interested in that kind of game, but I also think Asgard's Wrath is pretty good. But from there, you got to like experiment and try stuff. I don't play every VR game under the sun because of the price of it. And I don't play that often because it physically is taxing. Some of these games like require you to be like, younger. That's all I can say. It's just like my back feels sore. If you punch too much as Batman, it's kind of wild. Like just how I feel like I need a break. So it's hard. You can't sit and play these games for 40 hours at a time. So if you got a couple of games you like, you're kind of set for when you feel like playing it.
Sure.
I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. There's a quick look at that. We may try to get that into text form, so when new stuff gets added, we can just toss it in a sheet and share it out or whatever. I think that would be great. So watch frogpants.com/core for something like that coming up. I'd like to do that more with like Steam Deck recommendations, Beau's VR list, John's hardcore hentai based anime recommendations, tentacle porn.
So far I've played one game that is adjacent, so it's a list of one.
Sweet. Well, sometimes it's all you need. All right, well done. Let's do a text here from, let's see, who is this? Let's do this one. It's a text from a listener who did not leave a name. Says, I picked up a game called Witchfire and thought you guys might enjoy it. It feels like a FromSoft game, and if they made a Vermintide roguelike game. Far less mob density, though, but the atmosphere and gunplay are pretty good. So I'm going to look this up. Witchfire. What does that remind me of?
Oh, I was looking at this game this week. I almost picked it up. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
I own this game. I haven't played it yet.
I have it.
Oh, nice.
I thought I had a wish.
I'm curious as hell. It looks good.
I thought I had a wish list.
It did look awesome, which is why I bought it. I don't know why I didn't play it.
Oh, it's a single-player shootery. I didn't know it was a shooter. Reviewing well, 91%, 93 overall. That's really good. That may as well be overwhelming. They just need more reviews. Interesting. Ooh, it's got kind of penitent shit.
Witch hunter. Yeah, you play as like a witch hunter, and you got guns and magic, and it's first person.
You know,
it looks cool.
Sounds
I'm pretty sure that's what sold me on it. I was like, I like all those things. All those things sound cool.
Says the game borrows a lot of gameplay from the way Destiny feels. That's what I like about Destiny is the way it feels. So that's good.
Yeah, Destiny's a good shooter. Yeah.
Witchfire took me by surprise. Elements from Yeah, this looks good.
It is an early access game, so it's one of those not all the content's in the games. So it's like that's why I was like, I'll wishlist it and see what happens.
$40.
But it looks, if John's like, holy shit, this game's amazing, I may actually pick it up.
Got another one there. It says, will Scott finish the Ghost of Tsushima anime? Probably not. Or maybe I'm not allowed to until I finish the game. I don't know. We'll have to see. But thank you for your kind regards.
Thanks for memeing.
Yeah, thank you for memeing. JR wrote in, says, Core team, the week before New Year's, I spent 2 days reorganizing and strategizing my plan to tackle my backlog for 2025. Long story short, it will take me 3.5 years to complete it if I do not add anything else to my backlog. The moral of the story, you can't play everything and then trim fat where... Sorry, you can't play everything and trim the fat where you can. Not sure what that means. Maybe he meant can play everything. Is that what he means?
What?
I don't know. That final line doesn't make sense to me.
No, he said that fine. The moral of the story,
you
can't play everything and trim the fat where you can.
Oh. Like, it needs a comma.
Oh, yeah, you can't. So the point is, like, accept that you won't play everything in your backlog.
There.
So trim.
I added a comma. Now that sentence makes sense. If you don't have that comma there, it's screwed up.
I mean, that's the reality I'm facing, too, is I just got to look at these games and be like, put them in my storage list. Like, I just can't. You just can't.
Yeah, at some point you have to accept it. That's a good point. Trim the fat where you can. I had this idea the other day that it might be advantageous to uninstall everything and then only install like one game and go, all right, Scott, beat this before you install anything else. That'll never happen.
That's not a bad way to go.
I mean,
Beau's got a list. I think, like, does that list actually exist?
Yeah, or is it just in your head?
List? It's a Steam list. It's a Steam list. Hang on, I'll show you.
Oh, it's a make.
As I was going to say, Beau has consistently talked the same number for his to-do list, which made me believe it had to be an actual physical thing.
Okay, so I'm sharing my display now with you guys. So here is my to-do list. 120 games.
Okay.
And these are all the games on the list.
Isn't that first game on the list like black and white and red? Can't you remove that because you're not going to like it because it's in black and white?
Yeah, maybe. But I own it and I haven't given it a fair shake. So it's on the to-do list. Look, here's Antechamber, a game that released in...
people like Antechamber. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it looks super cool. I want to play this game.
Yeah.
Still on the list. What else have I got on the list? Like...
I see so many familiar games. You grabbed Coffee Caravan. I just love you for that. I love that you grabbed that.
I did. I picked up Coffee Caravan. Your recommendations definitely mean something. I'm like, that looks cool. I want to play Coffee Caravan. It's on the to-do list.
Oh,
Espresso Tycoon as well with a coffee theme. Why did I pick that up? I don't know. Yeah. It has coffee in it.
Beau wanted coffee one day.
If you fire up Enshrouded either now or when they hit 1.0, let me know because I have it and we could play.
This one's on my. This is a high priority one for sure, but I haven't ranked them yet. Here's Hi-Fi Rush, a game I should absolutely love.
Oh hell yeah! Grapple Dog. I love Grapple Dog.
Yeah. No, the Iconoclast is a game you recommended. Lorelli and the Laser Eyes, Mars First Logistics.
Yeah. Hey, look, Metaphor Refantasio, our game of the year.
Our game of 2024.
Because I don't count a couple hours as having been done. Like I didn't to do it yet, so it stays on the to do.
Have you never played Papers, Please?
No, I still haven't played.
Beau Schwartz, we gotta get that on, dude.
I really want to play.
I feel Scott's same passion, but mine's for Return of the Oberdin.
Yeah,
which I like better.
I mean, Peter, anything that dude makes, I'm down for. But I can't wait to see whatever he's working on now.
Yeah. All that to say, there's a lot. You gifted me Mechanus. I should play that.
What's wrong with me? Great game. You'd love that game.
So yeah, I really like the first Wolfenstein. I haven't ever played any of the sequels. I played half.
2 is so good. 2 is so good.
2 is an all-timer. Yeah, Windblown. Oh, so good.
The Tales of Arise. Shadowproof gifted me Tales from the Borderlands, so that's on the to-do list.
Oh my gosh, you would know what a good Borderlands game is like.
Shapes with a Z1. You got that back when Shapes with a Z2 hadn't come out yet.
I did play it a bit, but again, I don't count a couple hours as played, right? Yeah. And Mad Max, here's another one. Amazing game.
Oh, I love that game.
Right.
We got to get Beau to cancel his WoW subscription so he can play some video games.
I beat that game twice. That's how much I like it.
That's my to-do list. I think I also have a try sometime. No, I got rid of it. I merged them into one. I actually had 2 lists going for a while, but anyways, whatever.
A Core Keeper is one that I see here that I would like to give a fair shake because I have not played enough Core Keeper. I liked what I started playing, but then I got distracted. I think we've talked about that game before, John, right? You like Core Keeper as well?
Yeah, I didn't. That would also be in the I didn't play enough of it to really form a strong opinion, but it seemed good.
Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff going on in there. Final note here. This is from who is this from? There's no name. For Core, the reason people put an X at the end of Beau is probably because most Louisiana Cajun spellings of those type French words add an X at the end, and he's right. That's true. My wife's from that part of the country. Lots of X's.
Oh.
We have a restaurant down here called Troubadours.
Yeah, and it has an X
at the end because that's what they do.
Very Cajun, very Southern.
Cajun is like Creole? Is that
Creole, right? Yeah. So French in origin, but, it's kind of their own thing.
In the United States, EAUX is often used at the end of Cajun surnames. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's a Beau in Louisiana somewhere in a bog, a bog.
Bog?
What am I trying to say?
A bogman. A Beau in a bog.
Beau in a bog. Boix. Yeah, that's pretty common down there, and I don't know why I didn't think of it when we were talking about it because my wife's got family with X's in their name. So, yeah.
I didn't realize that they just stylistically added X on a lot of names. That it's cool, I guess. All right.
We ought to do. We haven't done this.
I didn't know that,
but we should do a prediction episode or a part of an episode of prediction about this year. Things like Half-Life 2 will be out, Switch 2 will be a huge seller, or it'll tank. It's just some of that stuff. We haven't done
a bold prediction for 2025.
Yeah, we need bold predictions, John. Not some half-assed, limp-wristed.
Yeah.
Limp-wristed.
That's not a very nice thing to say anymore, is it? Limp-wristed. It has a connotation that I don't actually mean. What I meant.
Okay. That isn't what I was thinking of masturbation, but yeah.
Because I'm thinking of weak, you can't pick a heavy thing up, but I think it's code for you're gay or something. Yeah. And I don't mean it that way.
Okay? Oh, no. I was thinking maybe for,
Canadians have a different
abled people.
Oh, yeah. I hope it's not that. I definitely wouldn't do that.
No, I think it's not that. It's affectedly delicate or fastidious in manner typically used of a man, especially a gay man. You're correct.
Okay.
So,
yeah. The way I think of it, though, is when I think limp-wristed, I'm I can't play Call of Duty professionally because I'm too limp-wristed, I would say. But I don't mean that I'm gay.
Yeah. It's not a good one. That's a real chicken on the wall.
Well, based on this conversation, my prediction for 2025 is Scott gets accidentally canceled.
I'm looking forward to it. It's
Wait,
the only
not on purposely canceled.
the only time I'll ever.
Accidentally.
It'll never be on purpose. I'll never.
That he walks his way into it, and people are like, "Scott, stop! You're canceling yourself," and he just keeps digging the hole deeper.
Yeah, I've been known to do
Like,
that.
I'm gonna get out of this hole any minute now. You watch me.
It's most people know that where my head is, so it's usually fine. But I will walk into a bog. I'll walk into a bog. And
I really enjoyed your one video this week about what was it? What was it titled? Sorry, you had a video.
What was it about?
And it was like it's not about the allegations video. What was it?
Was it the one where I tell people if they're going to
be PSA of sorts?
Oh yeah.
And the picture says, "Just so we're clear," and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
what's going on here?"
It seemed like, kind of dramatic.
I like it. You're like, do people think they're banned? I just want to let you know you are fucking banned.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
just make it clear. Yes, I banned you.
Here's where it came from. Here's where it came from. You were part of this. You just didn't know it. So I didn't even ban them. I just deleted comments from some people who were giving you shit and me shit for something you said that they took as political, but they were clearly coming from a very specific demographic.
They're gonna like today's episode.
Oh, they'll love it. Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, but they complimented me, so I felt the deletion was unfair.
They complimented John, which is hilarious.
As the person who got complimented, I think you should have let those comments stay on the video.
Point is, the whole point of that PSA was to let people know, don't come in there thinking there's some kind of magical, I'd like to take my case to the judge. Like, there's none of that. If you're a dick and I can feel it, you're out. Bye. That's it. I don't have time for anything else anymore. And if I make a mistake, I will admit to it and you're back in good graces. But I'm not going to just... I know when people are being shitty. I just know. Mm-hmm. And like I said, there's some room for error. And when I make those errors, I'll fix those too. But don't come just being an ass.
I would like to see a general trend of everybody's thoughts on the show be dressed up with compliments for me. I felt really good.
Can we get some of that okay, so when this video goes up today, John would like a string of compliments.
Just glowing compliments, please.
All right, I back your plan.
No, I was that would make me feel good.
This camera makes it look like my hands are huge. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess
no. It made the one look huge. It made the other one look kind of small.
Yeah, look. Now it's like, what's wrong with my hand? One hand's tiny.
Yeah, there's a perspective thing going on.
I got to figure that out. All right. That's it for today's show. Thank you all for listening, being here, hanging out. I'd like to thank our patrons because we always do, and they deserve it. Got some brand new folks. Someone named Scott Johnston.
Oh.
It's not me.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah. I will take more money this month because...
Is that your booster account?
That's my booster account. Don't make me stream it or else you'll see how bad I am at making it. But I don't know who this is, but I love it because we are very close to one another's names, and therefore I respect them without even knowing them. Also, Varric Von Oy, James Payne, Michael Dockery, and finally, Keith. Keith, love it. Love Keith. Love all these guys. Thank you guys for being a part of our Patreon at patreon.com/CORE-show, where you get no commercials ever, pre-show and post-show content every week, monthly host bonus episodes like the one coming from Beau this month. I don't know what it is, but we're getting it. Right? John was last month.
I don't know what it is either.
Beau looked like he just got hit by a car. He was like, coming from Beau, and Beau's like...
No. I got to do a show. Bonus show. It's my turn.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is either, and
I just know it'll be great.
It's in pre-production. All right, I'll get it. It's on its way.
I just know it'll be great. So watch for that. You also get art in the mail from me, game-related stuff. About to send out the new batch as well. So keep your eye on the prize there. Thank you for joining us at patreon.com/CORE-show. Everything else can be found at frogpants.com/core. That includes ways to contact us. The chief ways are email and a phone number. Talk to the core at gmail.com or text us at 801-471-0462. You can also voicemail us there if you'd like. That's going to do it for us. Grandma, it's time for you to head on over to the list of games we played and tell us one more time what they were, if you don't mind.
Well, if you're over on Steam searching for Elon Musk because you heard that a bunch and you thought it was a hot new release, you were wrong. It's not. So here's the games that actually got discussed on the show. You got Dungeon Clawler. You got Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, Lego 2K Drive, Fire Emblem, The Sacred Stones, Dynasty Warriors Origins, The Roottrees Are Dead, Final Fantasy VII Remake, a movie. It's not a game, but John did talk about George A. Romero's Resident Evil, which is a movie. Again, don't look on Steam for that one. Heroes of the Storm, Baldur's Gate 3, Team Fusion. What? Why'd you highlight this? This is not a game. Beau doesn't know how highlighting works. World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft, Grandma.
Marvel Rivals. It's like he doesn't even read the show notes. He doesn't know how to format a goddamn thing.
Well, is there more? Sorry. Keep going, Grandma.
No, that's it.
Is that it?
That's
all right, that's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. We will be back at it next Thursday. Although, is Thursday the Microsoft thing we talked about and all that?
Yes. So next week you guys will be here. You and Beau are going to be doing. You're going to be covering the Microsoft thing.
Yeah.
And then the plan is we're going to do Friday or a different day.
Yeah.
Undetermined day at some point for the actual show.
Yeah, because John's got a thing that day, so we're going to do the coverage of the Microsoft show and then sum all that up. Probably the next day if that's what works for everyone. And John will be back for that. So we'll be able to talk about what we saw and what's going on from that state of play. Not state of play, whatever they call theirs. I forgot the name. State of play is PlayStation. Anyway, doesn't matter. That'll be next week. So lots of stuff coming up next week for the show. Check out the website for details. That is going to do it for us, for me, for Beau, for John. We'll see you next week.
Those pants are made for frogging, if you know what I mean. I actually don't. Frogpants.com.
And because we haven't heard it in a while... Oh, let that wash over you. Such a great clip.